Stay tuned next for our Game of the Week, high school football on TV7, TV 34, a presentation of TV7 Sports. Our Game of the Week, local area high school football, coming up next.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Topper Field for Homecoming 2000. We're about to greet our maids that have been elected this year by the student body at Houston High School. Our freshman maid, Miss LaToya Jones. Our next freshman maid, Jenna Weaver. Sophomore maids this year include Amanda Pounds, Quinn Jones, LaFrancis Thompson,
I didn't even know LaFrancis' name.
and Casey Smith. Our year 2000 junior maids include Kristen Dole,
Casey!
Melissa Velo, Danielle Coleman, and Jessica Harden. Leanne Weaver, and Felicia Fields. Our senior maids this year include Charlene Lawrence, Melly Childs,
That's a bad car right there.
Catherine Landrum, Chica Sims. Felicia Smith.
What's Kim, man? That right there, he's like black. You look like Batman. You look like Batman.
Kim Weaver. And Bristol Stanfield.
That's that color. You might have some fun with one of these now. He don't look pretty good. He's blurry. Oh, got blurry. Man, I heard that Adam thing. Yeah.
Year 2000 at Houston High School. Our freshman maid, Miss LaToya Jones. LaToya is the daughter of Nathaniel and Sheena Kirby Jones. She is a member of the Houston High School Band, the Beta Club, Student Council, Junior Varsity Cheerleading Squad, and in 1999 was chosen as a UCA All-Star Cheerleader. In 8th grade, she was selected as most beautiful, friendliest, and most outgoing. LaToya is escorted tonight by District 1 Supervisor of Chickasaw County, Willie Wilson Kirby. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss LaToya Jones. Also representing the freshman class is Miss Jenna Weaver. Jenna is the daughter of Robbie and Ann Weaver. She attends North Jackson Street Church of Christ and is a member of the First United Methodist Church Youth Group. Jenna served on the 1999-2000 Student Council and is being escorted tonight by her father, Robbie Weaver. Representing the sophomore class, Miss Amanda Pounds. Amanda is the daughter of Keith and Elizabeth Pounds and is a member of the Anchor Club, Beta Club, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Student Council, Junior Varsity Cheerleading Squad, and Freshman Hall of Fame. She is an active member of Pleasant Grove Baptist Church and is being escorted tonight by her father, Keith Pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Amanda Pounds. Also representing the sophomore class is Miss Quinn Jones. Quinn is the daughter of Albert and Charmaine Jones and is a member of the Varsity Cheerleading Squad, FBLA, Student Council, and Fellowship of Christian Athletes. In 1999, she was named to the UCA All-Star Cheerleading Squad and is an active member of Christian Fellowship Church. Quinn is being escorted tonight by Greg Jones, son of Giles and Linda Jones, who is a member of FBLA. He was voted best all-around in the 9th grade, is a member of Halka Church of Christ, and is an honor roll student. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Quinn Jones. Our next sophomore maid is Miss LaFrancis Thompson. LaFrancis is the daughter of Lily Thompson, and she attends Pleasant Plains MB Church. In her spare time, she enjoys basketball and baseball. She is escorted tonight by Murray White, who is the son of Murray and Mary White. He was Mr. Houston Junior High School class favorite and freshman to be remembered. He is a member of Union Baptist Church at Prairie. Ladies and gentlemen, LaFrancis Thompson. Our final sophomore maid is Miss Casey Smith. Casey is the daughter of Ronnie and Christy Smith. She is a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, VICA, Student Council, and the Junior Varsity Cheerleading Squad. She is an active member of Parkway Baptist Church, and tonight is escorted by her father, Ronnie Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Casey Smith. Representing the junior class, Miss Kristen Dole. Kristen is the daughter of Galen and Kay Dole. She is a member of the HHS Chorus and Fellowship of Christian Athletes. She is also a model for the Grant and Company Agency in Tupelo, Mississippi. Tonight, she is being escorted by her father, Galen Dole. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Kristen Dole. Our next junior maid is Melissa Velo. Melissa is the daughter of Maddie and Joel Velo and is a member of Clark's Chapel MB Church in Hawka. She is a member of the Houston High School Band where she plays the trumpet and is a member of the Color Guard. Melissa is also a member of HOSA. She enjoys talking on the phone, meeting new friends, and going to FCA meetings. She is being escorted tonight by her father, Joel Velo. Ladies and gentlemen, Melissa Velo. Also representing the junior class is Miss Danielle Coleman. Danielle is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Randy Kirby and is a member of the high school band where she is also a color guard member. Danielle is also a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and was selected to Who's Who among American high school students. She attends New Zion MB Church. She is escorted tonight by Darius Spann, who is also a member of the Houston High School Band, where he is a percussion line leader. He is a member of Fellowship of Christian Athletes and attends Christian Fellowship Church. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Danielle Coleman. Also representing the junior class is Miss Jessica Harden. Jessica is the daughter of Tommy and Ruthie Harden and is a member of the Varsity Cheerleading Squad, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Beta Club, Anchor Club, and Model Security Council. She is an active member of First Baptist Church, where she is a member of the youth group. She is escorted tonight by her father, Tommy Harden. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Jessica Harden. Our next junior maid is Miss Leanne Weaver. Leanne is the daughter of Charlie and Angela Weaver and is a member of the Varsity Cheerleading Squad, Beta Club, Anchor Club, and Fellowship of Christian Athletes. She is also a member of First Baptist Church, where she is active in her youth group. She is escorted tonight by her father, Charlie Weaver. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Leanne Weaver. Our final junior maid is Miss Felicia Fields. Felicia is the daughter of Willie and Maddie Fields and is a member of Fellowship of Christian Athletes, HOSA, and the HHS Band, where she has been in the color guard line for 3 years and plays the clarinet. Felicia is escorted by her brother, Jimmy Fields. Ladies and gentlemen, Felicia Fields. And now our senior maids, from which 2 young ladies will be named homecoming queens for Houston High School. Our first senior maid is Charlene Lawrence. Charlene is the daughter of Anthony and Carrie Lawrence. She is co-captain of the varsity cheerleading squad, co-president of the student council, senior representative of the Anchor Club, Beta Club, and Fellowship of Christian Athletes. She has also been chosen as a UCA All-Star cheerleader. Charlene is a member of New Zion MB Church in Houston. She is escorted tonight by her father, Anthony Lawrence, who would like to wish her a happy 18th birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, Charlene Lawrence. Our next senior maid is Miss Mellie Childs. Mellie is the daughter of the Reverend and Mrs. Michael Childs. She is a member of the HHS tennis team, student council, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Topper newspaper staff and yearbook staff, youth representative to the Council on Ministries in her church, First United Methodist Church of Houston. Mellie is escorted tonight by her brother, Matt Childs.
His brother actually plays
Also representing the senior class is Miss Catherine Landrum. Catherine is the daughter of Ronnie and Ann Landrum and is a member of the HHS varsity cheerleading squad where she serves as co-captain, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Beta Club, Anchor Club, Model Security Council, and Who's Who among American high school students. Catherine has been selected as a UCA All-Star cheerleader and is a member of the First Baptist Church where she is active with her youth. Catherine is escorted tonight by her father, Ronnie Landrum. Ladies and gentlemen, Catherine Landrum. Also representing the senior class is Miss Chastity Neely. Chastity is the daughter of Booker and Denise Neely. She is a senior class representative to the Student Council, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and has been elected to Who's Who among American high school students. She is a member of Poplar Springs Baptist Church, and tonight is being escorted by her father, Booker Neely. Ladies and gentlemen, Chastity Neely.
How long is the microphone?
Our next senior maid is Miss Rashika Sims. Rashika is the daughter of Jackie Gates and is a member of the HHS basketball team, Anchor Club, Beta Club, and a recipient of the National Who's Who among American high school students. She is a member of St. Matthew Baptist Church. Rashika is escorted tonight by her brother, Stephen Ray Sims, Jr., who is a graduate of Houston High School and a 98 honor graduate of ICC, and is currently attending the University of West Alabama, majoring in law. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Rashika Sims. Our next senior maid is Miss Felicia Smith. Felicia is the daughter of James and Kathy Smith and attends the Thorn Church of God. She is escorted tonight by her brother, Adam Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, Felicia Smith. Our next senior maid is Miss Kimberly Weaver. She is the daughter of Kenny Weaver and the late Debbie Weaver. She is co-captain of the varsity cheerleading squad, chosen as a UCA All-Star cheerleader, chosen in Who's Who among American high school students, is a member of the Beta Club, Anchor Club, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and the Student Council. She attends Macedonia United Methodist Church and is escorted tonight by her father, Kenny Weaver. Ladies and gentlemen, Kimberly Weaver. Our final maid for the evening is Miss Bristol Stanfield. Bristol is the daughter of William and Joyce Stanfield. She is an active member of the New Hope United Methodist Church, FCA, HOSA, and the Houston High School Lady Toppers basketball team. She is a 1999 recipient of the National Who's Who among American high school students. Bristol is escorted tonight by Albert Stanfield Jr., son of A.J. and Joyce Stanfield. Ladies and gentlemen, your homecoming court, for Houston High School for the year 2000. Earlier this week, elections were held and 2 young ladies were elected homecoming queens for Houston High School. They will be receiving their roses and crown tonight by last year's homecoming queens, Casey Griffin, who is now a freshman at Mississippi State University, and Nikki Fant, who is a freshman at ICC. Your homecoming queens for the year 2000 are, our first queen is Miss Charlene Lawrence.
Tell you what we'll do, we'll let you have this time if we can. We might try to fit over here beside you when we're
That'll be fine.
Also elected queen for the year 2000 is Miss Kimberly Weaver.
Pretty good. She's very pretty. They're going to skip down just a little bit. Oh, you're a good man. Oh, you skip down just a little bit. You get a great view.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for the singing of the alma mater?
Yeah. If you're a lady,
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise for a brief moment of silence, followed by the national anthem. Amen.
And we welcome you to Hilltopper Stadium on the campus of Houston High School for week number 6 of the high school football season. Tonight is homecoming here at Houston. The Hilltoppers are entertaining Winona as Winona comes in here with an even mark of 2 wins, 2 losses. Houston, of course, with the victory last week over Bruce, 4 wins and against 1 loss. Paul, good atmosphere here tonight. A lot of folks here, a lot of folks here to see a good homecoming crowd and a high school football game between these 2 programs. We look forward to it here tonight.
Well, Patrick, it will be a fun football game. It will be a football game here tonight, Patrick, that anytime you have an opportunity to have a homecoming event, Patrick, it's a special night for a lot of young people, and in particular, not just football players. It's a senior night, so to speak. We've already seen 2 young ladies that have been crowned homecoming queens. Special nights for those young ladies, as well as all the other maids that were out there. Those are memories you'll always remember. Congratulations to the entire homecoming court. You know, it should be a lot of fun. Maybe the Toppers can top it all off, Pat, with a nice homecoming win as well.
And we're about ready to kick this one off, Paul, as the Winona club has won the toss. Winona has elected to receive, so the Tigers will get the football first. John Horn will tee it up at the 40, and they will get the football first, and this one's about ready to get underway. Week number 6, as we mentioned a few moments ago here during the football season. We're at the midpoint of this season, Paul. It'll be interesting. Next week, I think, begins division play for Houston. It'll be division play from here on out. The last non-division matchup for the season for the Hilltoppers. Horn's going to step forward. He's going to kick it, and it's going to be in the direction and bobble momentarily around the 15-yard line, trying to find a seam over the 20, up to about the 25 on the return. Appears to be Harbin. Harbin up to about the 24, and the Tigers will set up shot 1st and 10 from their own 24-yard line as they get the football first. And Paul, we're not really quite sure what to expect from this club. We know they have a couple of wins over West Lowndes, and I'm not mistaken who the other win was against. I think they had mentioned to us a few moments ago they were 2-2, but
2-3. I think they lost to Ackerman and Water Valley, and the other school escapes me, but I think the gentleman said they were 2-3 on the campaign.
As Marshall will come in to quarterback. Actually, the quarterback for is Brad Beckwith, and Beckwith will give to his tailback, and on the carry appear to be Gerald Alexander. Alexander, Paul, looked like he absolutely maybe picked up a yard or so. Really no room to run through at all. Maybe a pickup of 1. Will bring up 2nd down and 9 for the Tigers.
Well, a good job that time, Patrick, by the interior defensive front wall that time of the Toppers, and they did a good job of knocking the ball carrier down for a minimal gain. Saw Winona play last year. Patrick went to the game between Houston and Winona. Had a fine tailback who looks like, I think he was a senior and is gone, but other than that, don't know a lot about them as well.
Well, they run a little play off right tackle. It's the tailback Flowers. Looked like he had some initial running room over the 40, then cut it back up to along the over the 30 and cuts it back over the 31. And he's going to be shy of the first down. We'll bring up 3rd down and 5 yards to go in a possession play for the Tigers from Winona.
Well, it'll bring up a possession play, 3rd down and long for the Tigers, Patrick. And sure, Coach Funk and his staff would like nothing more than force Winona to give up possession of the football. They'd probably get pretty good field position and try to take the football down the field and get some points.
An I formation in the backfield behind Beckwith is rolling to his right as Beckwith is in a lot of trouble, and he's going to be dropped right along the 16-yard line. The light coming up to make the stop defensively for the Hilltoppers was Rod Holman, and he's going to drop him at the 16 for a loss. We'll bring up 4th down, and the Tigers will be forced to punt the football.
Well, that time, Patrick, the quarterback is trying to run a little waggle, had the receiver Bishop Reed, actually probably the tight end, drag him back across the middle of the field around the 40-yard line, and unfortunately for him, wasn't able to get rid of the football, but fortunately for the Hilltoppers, able to come up with a sack.
Brandon Kim will check into the football game to punt it away, and receiving it right around the 20-45 and dropped and fumbled, and I think that the Tigers have recovered it. As it appeared, Paul, that unfortunately for the Hilltoppers, Chris Brand unable to handle the punt, and they're going to turn it over, and the Tigers again get relatively good field position from the turnover.
Well, it's just like picking up a first down on their possession. Actually, they got the ball right around the 43-yard line, their own 43-yard line, still in their own territory. My man Brand let me down, Pat. You know how high I am on that young man. I've been high on him all season long. Not saying that young man let me down, but very uncharacteristic of him. But the young man's a very, very fine player.
I formation in the backfield, single receivers left and right. Harbin will be the near side receiver. Alexander, the fullback. Flowers, the tailback, under heavy duress. Paul does not even get back to the line of scrimmage. Looked like good pursuit. Looked like Brian Tucker came up to make the stop defensively for the Hilltoppers. A loss of 2 will bring up 2nd down and 12.
Well, good job that time by Tucker, Patrick, because he did a good job of getting super penetration and did a good job of just disrupting the whole play. And then Jerome Lyons was able to come in and clean up as well. Good job by the Houston D for dropping for a 2-yard loss.
Lyons with the tackle along with Tucker with some help. Running the option play is going to be Beckwith on the sweep. It's going to be Flowers. Nowhere to go. Good lateral pursuit again defensively for the Hilltoppers. And it looks like coming up to make the stop looks like is Caleb Chandler. Again for a loss, Paul. Back to about the 41. We'll bring up 3rd down and about 13 yards to go for the 1st down.
Well, a good job that time by Caleb, Patrick, coming up from his linebacker position. The one thing that you're always wanting to do when you're playing against an option football team is you want your defensive ends, your linebackers, outside backers to be disciplined that time. Caleb did a good job of just staying at home on the short side of the field and knocking the ball carrier down for another loss on the play.
An eye in the backfield behind Beckwith, who rolls to his right, looks upfield, throws a little flare that's in and out of the hands of the receiver, nearly picked off by Tucker, incomplete. And it's 4th down, and again, Paul, 3 plays. The Tigers, unsuccessful in moving the football, are forced to punt again.
Well, they didn't net any yardage that time. The -3 on the series after the turnover, and they'll bring the punter back into the football game. Brand will drop back into his own territory around the 30-yard line, and we will probably catch the football from somewhere around that point if the kicker's able to get off a successful punt.
And Kim in to punt the football away, and this time he gets away a little better one. And Brand will ask for a fair catch at the 30-yard line and will receive it at that point. Now the Hilltoppers will trot their offense onto the field for the first time. Jim McCullough and crew will have it 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line as we have 7 minutes, 44 seconds remaining in the 1st quarter.
And we want to thank our fine sponsors helping make Houston Hilltopper football possible to you tonight. The Union Planters Bank here in Houston, Mississippi. Griffin Motor Company, Piling Wholesale Furniture, Classic Exteriors Vinyl Siding, Gene King, the owner. King's Tire with Reggie Callahan, the owner here in town. Custom Auto Accessories, Bell South provider here. Carl Rogers, Patrick, and staff do an excellent job with the Bell South products that they carry there. A&A Electrical Supply, Walter and Pat Archer, Patrick do a good job. Patrick, want to thank all the fine folks helping make Houston High School football courtesy to you tonight on TV7, TV 34. Home Discount Lumber and Supply, Quick Cash here in town, Dixieland Manufacturing Company, Chickasaw Equipment Company, Bargain Warehouse, Grocers Pride, Springer Homes with locations in Woodland, Houston, Pontotoc, and Starkville as well. Hunter's Hollow in Oxford, Mississippi, Patrick, and Grazzani Rebel Motors. They don't have as good of food as the folks in Memphis, Tennessee do at the Grazzani Italian restaurant, but they have some pretty nice vehicles. We want to thank all these fine folks, Patrick, for helping make Houston Hilltopper football courtesy to you on TV7, TV 34 tonight. And not only, Patrick, do we want to thank these folks, we want everyone to go out and see these folks, do business with these folks, Patrick, because they're all very, very fine people as well. Of course, I know we talk about the Grisani's, Patrick. I know you know what I'm talking about with the Italian food they have in Memphis. I think there's some type of relation to those folks as well.
Well, I think you're right, Paul. And there's a flag here on the play that I didn't see. And you're right, the Grisanis are indeed kin. But there is a flag on the play, Paul, and I'm not quite sure what happened is we've had a long delay from the officials. Evidently, it has been whistled against the Hilltoppers, and a very, very major violation. It's going to be marked all the way into the Hilltopper 42-yard line. Evidently, Paul's going to give them a first down, and Winona continues to have possession of the football.
Well, two big plays here in the football game have been the fumbled or the muff punt by Brand, and now we have looks like some type of penalty that will give the Tigers first down via the penalty. I don't know if they've had maybe 5 yards of total offense, Patrick, but they've moved the football about 35 yards if you want to take where they took possession of the first kickoff.
Well, this is my fourth time to see the Toppers play, Paul. 2 or 3 of the games they've played in, there's no question about the talent on this football team and their competitiveness, but have made some early mistakes in some of those games. Again, a mistake here on the penalty and also the turnover. But again, good lateral pursuit defensively, and they're knocked off their feet at midfield. And I'm sure Coach Funk not happy with it.
Well, you never want to see mental breakdowns. You never want to see mistakes that are things that are not necessarily things that when you're going head on. If you make mistakes playing reckless, abandoned football, you can live with those. But the mental aspect of the football game is one thing that the coaches hate to see when players make mistakes that are things that. Or not necessarily physical mistakes, but possibly mental mistakes.
I formation in the backfield behind Beckwith as they ran the option for no success. Caleb Chandler comes in to spill flowers around the 44-yard line after a gain of 6. And it will bring up third down and basically 10 as they get back to the original line of scrimmage. And a possession play again facing Winona. So I don't know if Winona has seen a team with the kind of team speed that the Hilltoppers have shown so early in this first half already.
Well, you can tell definitely the option play that they're trying to run. It's something that depends on getting a crease in the defense and finding an opportunity or a hole for the quarterback. Actually, on the triple option, the quarterback has to make the decision. And right now, they're giving some trouble with the team speed. You're correct, Pat.
Well, Beckwith drops straight back to throw and throws one in the right sideline. His pass is going to be incomplete. We'll bring up fourth down. His pass was intended for Bishop Reed, incomplete. And again, Winona forced to punt.
Well, they have to punt the football again. Back to run the triple option. When you're running the triple option, Patrick, I'm not an expert offensively at all, but my understanding is one thing you're always going to do is you're going to leave someone unblocked. It doesn't matter who it is. It's going to be a defensive tackle, defensive lineman, linebacker, whoever it is. Of course, it's the quarterback's decision. Then he's got to make the read on the line of scrimmage if he's going to give the ball to the up back. And then he has to make the decision once he gets on the outside where he's going to keep the ball or if he's going to give the ball on the pitch.
Well, Mr. Kim's been a very busy man here in the first quarter. His third punt. Paul, this time I think that a fair catch is going to be asked for by Brand at the 19. And I think, Paul, without a penalty or a turnover, I think this time that the Hilltoppers going to have the football.
Well, first down 10 yards to go at their own 19-yard line. I guess if you're playing the type of football that you're playing field position football, right now, Winona's winning that, but that's something that's kind of shot the Toppers in the foot here early in the football game. They have made some mental mistakes here early, Patrick, but McCullough and his staff will be on the football field first and 10 from their own 19-yard line, get something started here early.
And they get that high-octane offense onto the field, and they're going to run a little delay here. Looks like in the backfield it's going to be Harrell. Harrell maybe gets the line of scrimmage, maybe a couple. We'll bring up second down, 8 yards to go for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, good job that time by the interior line for Winona, Patrick, as they just stayed at home and just kind of bottled everything up, and just not a lot of running room that time for the back. Not able to get up the football field and pick up any substantial yardage.
Second and 9 for the Hilltoppers from the 20. No scores. We're midway through the first quarter of play. 5 minutes, 41 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. As McCullough will roll to his left, runs a little bootleg, now looking for someone to throw the football up the field to. Pass is going to be caught by Caleb Chandler right around the 39-yard line. Nice throw of throwing the football and a nice reception and a first down for the Hilltoppers.
Hey, good job of concentration that time, Patrick, by Caleb. as he did a good job. Patrick, looked like that time the ball may have been thrown a little bit behind him and almost to the, he had to almost angle his body at a funny position just to make the catch. But did a super job and picked up of about 19 on the play and a first down and 10 for the Toppers. And timeout on the field. We'll take it with them. Can you tell? Maybe I don't need to do any further play that. And first and 10 for the Hilltoppers on a little dive play. It's going to be Harrell over the 40 up to the 43, a gain of about 4, Paul. Well, I'm looking really closely at the numbers here, Patrick. We'll get the kind of a numbers crunch. Don't know a lot about Winona. They're very, very short as far as a lot of bodies on the football field. They only have 31 players on their roster, so I'm not really sure exactly how many of those players are underclassmen. I haven't really checked into it. They do look like they have quite a bit of underclassmen, but not a lot of depth, I'm sure, on this football team for Coach Chris McRae and staff. And it's going to be on the little sweep to the right. Big hole over the 40, down over the 35. Still running inside the 35, 20, 10. Touchdown for the Hilltoppers. As on the carry was for the Hilltoppers, Paul, was Marco Robinson, on the carry, Paul. He bust one for 57 yards and a touchdown. And the Hilltoppers put the first 6 on the board. Well, good job that time, Patrick, by Robinson, running the football hard on the little quick counter play, and did a good job of getting up in the secondary pattern, a little quick hitter, finding some gaps in the defense, and really nothing personal, against the Winona players. Patrick, really, after he got in the secondary, I'm glad he didn't tackle him, but a pretty poor job of tackling, actually, if you want to talk about it in the secondary, but a good job by Robinson of finding the old land of Milk and Honey. And John Horn in to attempt the extra point, try to give the Hilltoppers a 7-0 lead. And the kick is on its way, and the kick is good. 4 minutes, 44 seconds remaining in the first quarter of play. We have a flag on the field. We'll have to wait and see if this one is going to be against the Hilltoppers and have to be kicked over, or if not, or if it's against Winona, and Winona will have it assessed on the kickoff. We'll have to sort this one out after the meeting of the board on the field. It's going to be some kind of penalty against the legal procedure penalty. Maybe somebody was lined up wrong. We don't know. Not exactly sure. Legal motion, motion penalty, I guess, Patrick, time on the Toppers, and we'll force Horn to back up about 5 more. But if he hits it just like that, it'll be all academic, because he'll make it again, because he hit the ball pretty squarely on his extra point attempt. Well, it's going to be a 25-yard extra point now, as Horn will tee it up at the 15. And you're right, Paul, this time will be 5 yards further out, and Horn will be in to kick it again. Out of the hold of Chris Brand. As Horn anticipates the snap, the placement down by Brand, and the kick is on its way. And Paul, again, the kick is good. Got plenty of leg in it. Still 4 minutes, 44 seconds remaining in the first quarter play. Houston 7, Winona nothing. .444 left in the first quarter. Patrick Horn will bring a kicking team on the field after the Robinson 57-yard touchdown. And it's going to be Harbin at his 10, Paul, looking for a seam over the 20, up to about the 23. Good special teams coverage by the Hilltoppers, as on the tackle for the Hilltoppers appear to be Jerome Lyons, and the Tigers will set up shop first and 10 from right along their own 24-yard line, trailing in the football game 7-0.
Jerome Lyons and number 29, Travis McManus.
Paul, we have a beautiful evening here for high school football action here tonight. Lovely evening. Temperatures in the mid-70s. Very pleasant good evening, Paul, and as well, temperatures may get a little bit nippy before this one's over by standards of what we've had earlier in the year.
Well, I hope it doesn't, because I have a pair of shorts on, Patrick, so I might get really nippy.
Flowers on the sweep, trying to get the corner, not going to be able to do so. Good lateral pursuit defensively by the Toppers. Maybe a gain of 1. Looked like the Hilltoppers' McCullough came up to make the stop defensively. Actually, Caleb Chandler, Paul, is what the PA guy says, so we'll go with him on the tackle. It'll be a gain of maybe 2, second down and 8.
Well, second down and 8, Patrick. I'm looking at the roster. Winona has 6 seniors. Pretty inexperienced group, it looks like. A very young football team. Only have 31 actually 31 players that are dressed out. So, oh man, what a big hit.
Beckworth that gives it to Flowers, and he is met immediately, Paul, and he gets nowhere, dropped in the backfield. And I believe it was Caleb Chandler came up to make the stop defensively, the senior defensive end.
Oh, what a super job by Caleb that time, Patrick, as he just shot the gap and did a good job of just meeting the ball carrier in the hole. You know, unfortunately for Winona, it looked like he almost was unblocked. And before the game was over, I'm not sure if Coach McRae and staff are really exactly sure if they have anyone that can block Caleb, but they might want to find someone that can find number 89.
And it's 3rd down and long, and Beckworth gets this one tipped right at the line of scrimmage. I think it was Jerome Lyons applying the pressure, got a hand on the football, knocks it down, and it's 4th down, and Winona forced to punt again. And they've done absolutely nothing offensively thus far.
Well, they really haven't picked up an offensive first down at all. They had the first down via the penalty on the first drive, which we played almost 9 minutes here in the first quarter. Really no action, so to speak of, offensively from Winona, but they've pretty much controlled the clock, if you want to know the truth of the matter, except for the one long run by the Toppers. That's pretty much the only time they've had the ball.
And a line drive punt that gets a Winona roll, still rolls dead, right along the 48, 49-yard line in Houston territory. A little bit of a low snap. Paul did a good job of just corralling that thing in and getting rid of it. And the Hilltoppers have excellent field position with 3:11 remaining in the first quarter play. The Hilltoppers lead 7-0.
Well, there's some really good football going on in the area tonight, Patrick. Around the area, Aberdeen is at Shannon. Amory, Patrick, in an interesting affair. Amory at Cleveland tonight. Coffeyville's at Pontotoc. Coronet, Patrick, a football team that's really hot with after their win last week against Ripley. Coronet that's at New Albany tonight. Should be an interesting affair between those two schools. New Albany seems to be a really improved football team.
And they have a wing to the left as it's going to be on the carry. Holman over midfield, over the 40, and the secondary over the 30, down along the 26, and a big hole and a big run by Holman, and a first down for the Hilltoppers.
Good job that time of Holman running the football, Patrick, finding the gap in the alley and doing a good job on a sweep play, doing a good job getting outside and then cutting the ball back up and picking up very, very good yardage, a pickup of about 26 on the play, and a first down and 10 for the Toppers at the Winona Tiger 25-yard line.
Indeed, a first down for Houston, first down and 10 from the Winona 25-yard line. Houston looking to add to that lead, leading 7-0 here in the football game. As coming in motion is going to be Holman, going to be Robinson on the carry, over the 20, still running along the 17-yard line before he's dropped by Frank Vaughn, but not before he gains 8, and a nice pickup on first down by Robinson.
Well, anytime you can pick up 7-8 yards on first down, Patrick, the offensive line is doing their job, and right now they're having some pretty good gaps and holes to run the football in between, so right now, to be honest with you, it looks like that they're going to be able to move the football with some authority from time to time tonight, Patrick, here in the contest against the Tigers.
Second down, 2 yards to go. As Harrell is the back in the backfield, Robinson beside him. It's going to be Harrell off right tackle inside the 15, right along the 11-yard line is Tyrell Harrell, and a first down is registered by the Hilltoppers right just outside the 10. Paul, I believe they can earn a first down without scoring from that point.
Well, this is the first week of back-to-back weeks the Toppers will have home games. Next week, Patrick, they'll face another school that'll have a lot of red out here on the football field, a county, kind of a neighborhood rivalry, not necessarily a big rivalry game, but I think if I'm not mistaken, South Pontotoc will make the journey over here next week, and Houston and South Pontotoc will tangle here a week from tonight.
And McCullough again with two backs in the backfield. It's going to be Harrell. The ball looked like it popped loose, Paul, and alertly recovering the football was McCullough, and averting disaster for the Hilltoppers.
Well, a nice heads-up play that time by McCullough, Patrick, and helping avert disaster, as it looked like it was a possibility that they were going to surrender the football via the turnover, but he was able to regain control of the football. We'll bring up a second down and 13, a loss of 3 on the play. But I'd rather have a loss of 3 on the play than the turnover from right around the 15-yard line.
It'll be second down and 13 yards to go, Paul. They can actually earn a first down right along the 2, or actually along the 1-yard line without scoring. Gann is the near side receiver as you look to the bottom of your screen. They'll have wings left and right. As rolling to his left is McCullough. Now tucks it under his arm and runs. And he's back to along the 10. Maybe gets back to the original line of scrimmage where he's dropped at that point. Will bring up third down and 10 yards to go as he was stopped defensively by Octavius Tops right along the 10-yard line, Paul.
Well, good job that time, Patrick, by Tops from his linebacker position, 5'9", 175-pound sophomore. Did a good job from his linebacker position of coming up and meeting McCullough around the 10-yard line and forcing the Toppers to bring up a third down and 10. And probably for all intents and purposes, Patrick, probably will be the last play, or could be the last play of the first quarter.
And splitting to the right as you look to the top of your screen is Chris Griffin. And rolling to his right, McCullough now looks upfield. He throws it to Robinson over the 10, trying to get to the first down with Paul just over the 5 and inside the 5. And I don't think he quite got there as he's going to be shy of the first down. It's 4th down and a decision for the Hilltoppers. They'll have the end of the quarter with time to think about it, as that will bring to an end the first quarter play. We played through 1. Houston 7, Winona nothing.
And that's the end of the first quarter with the Hilltoppers up ahead 7-0.
And to start the second quarter of action, though, the Hilltoppers will go for it on 4th down. And Patrick will be very, very close to picking up first down yardage. I don't think he got there, and probably will have to surrender the football on down.
Paul, I think Carroll's going to be shy of the first down, and I believe that the Tigers came up with a stop defensively.
Well, good job that time by Chris McRae's defensive staff for the Winona Tigers, and they turn away the Toppers, and they will take over first down and 10 from their own 3-yard line. Patrick, want to say congratulations to Kimberly Weaver and Charlene Lawrence. Charlene Lawrence, the two homecoming queens here tonight for Houston High School. Congratulations to both of those young ladies. As the quarterback Beckwith will bring his football team on the line of scrimmage, Patrick, there will be flags everywhere, as I'm sure this will be a half the distance back to the goal line type penalty, as it will be offside. Actually, it's an offsides penalty against the encroachment against the Hilltoppers. Patrick, I wasn't sure.
Well, I think Eddie White, Paul, he hit the center. Not only hit the center, he knocked the center and the quarterback both down. It was a little bit overzealous, but one of those comical things you see in football, but he was a little bit early and moved a little bit early and was offside.
Well, everything's comical to you, Pat. There's no question about it, as Beckwith will have his fullback who will be in the football game. I believe that's Vaughn Close, and we'll have Watson in the backfield deep, as they will give the football on the off-counter play, and won't pick up very, very much. Patrick is maybe getting up back to close to the line of scrimmage. Was a ball carrier, not able to see who that young man. It's very, very difficult to read their numbers from up here. Their numbers are very hard to read. They are for me anyway.
Lyons and Chandler and Tucker, all three got there and made the stop defensively for Houston. 3rd down and 6 yards to go.
Well, actually 2nd and 7. That was the penalty was still on first down, as the quarterback Beckwith will have his wide receiver. That will be Mosley, split wide to the left. Will give the football on the little trap play to the fullback, and that will be Jarrell Alexander, Patrick, 5'9", 160-pound sophomore, getting the football back up to around the line of scrimmage. And again, Patrick, no appreciable gain. And they're having some difficulties moving the football right now, quite frankly, Patrick, on the Topper defense.
Well, Tyler Harrell, Paul, just knifed through there from his linebacker position and make the stop. And Paul, they're getting tremendous penetration. Right now, Winona having no success moving anybody out.
Exactly, Patrick. They only have 6 seniors on their football team, 31 players on their roster. So no question, Patrick, they're a very, very young football team. The Winona Tigers are, as Beckwith will have his wide receiver split wide to the left, as they will run the option to the right. Patrick will get the football back over across the 11, but will be well shy of the first down. Will bring up another punting situation, as the Tigers are unable to register the first down. We'll bring up a 4th down, probably 4th down around 4 on the play, maybe a short, long 3, short 4, and we'll bring in the punter again, who'll have to punt the football away, as he'll stand in his own end zone.
Well, Paul, Rod Holman came up and made a good stop defensively for the Hilltoppers, and they're going to force him to punt the football away from the shadows of their own end zone.
Snap back. And the kick is Brand is deep and will fill the ball around his own 46, the Winona 46. Nice crackback block, Patrick, as Brand will be in his, and down to around the 16, down to around the 14-yard line. Wasn't able to see who the young man was, Patrick, with a great crackback block. Were you able to pick up the block on the play?
No, it didn't, Paul. They sealed the corner awfully well, Paul, and he had the whole sideline and did a good job of eluding a couple of tacklers when he got inside the 30-yard line to get some extra yardage inside the 13-yard line. Nice return by Brand. Well, the Toppers will try to get the score back that they should have had a couple minutes ago, Patrick, after they surrendered the football on downs, as McCullough will try it on the football field. First down, 10 yards to go from the Winona 13-yard line. As coming over the football will be Will Weaver, the center, and McCullough will be the quarterback. We'll have in the backfield, we'll have, looks like Harrell as the fullback. We have a penalty, Patrick. This one's going to come back as Harrell looks like he's going to find the end zone, but that's all for naught. As this one will indeed come back. I think it's going to be some type of illegal motion penalty on the top. Probably some type of illegal shift against the Hilltoppers. We'll have to sort this one out. Boy, they set it up beautifully, Paul. They sealed the corner perfectly and had everyone there, and the lead blocker out in front as well, but it's going to come all for naught. It's just going to come back. There will be penalized 5 yards from the 13-yard line. We'll make it first down, 15 yards to go, Patrick, from around the 18-yard line. First down marker will be just inside the 5 at around the 3. 9 minutes, 28 seconds that here left in the second quarter of action. As again, Patrick, you hate to say this, the Toppers, actually there's a second penalty, Patrick. Didn't see that one come in late. It sounds like it's going to be some type of illegal block in the back or something at the end of the run. But you hate to see that. I'm sure that's something Coach Spunk and his staff hates to see. This is, we've had another game this year earlier where we've made some unfortunate penalties that I'm sure Coach Spunk and his staff would like to avoid seeing those type plays happen. Well, indeed, Paul, you're exactly right. That's the thing that bit them a couple of weeks ago against Okolona. Had a lot of mental mistakes and, of course, turned the football over 4 or 5 times in the first half, and now they've had some penalties and, of course, a couple of turnovers or a turnover in this game. So they have got to quit making some of these little mental mistakes that they have had happen to them thus far. Of course, these are non-conference, non-division games. If they're going to happen, when you correct them, you would want to be able to correct them before you get into division play, where they will start next week. And Winona will accept, Patrick, the penalty, Patrick, which will be a block in the back clipping penalty, and will probably be a spot of the foul penalties. First down, excellent. It was first down, 20 yards to go from the 21-yard line. Should actually be first down at about 18, if I'm not mistaken, from the 21-yard line. The first down marker will be just outside the 3. I believe that was one of those type of penalties, Patrick, where the blocking in the back was on the spot of the foul. As Harrell will be, Robinson will go in motion, Patrick, and will pick up a block, Patrick, from Robinson, as Harrell will cross down around the 10 to about the 9-yard line, Patrick, and a flag comes in late. And that may be a face mask penalty. It looks like at the end of the play, maybe what might be the call. Well, Paul, I believe you're exactly right. We'll have to sort this one out because it was right at the point of the tackle. Again, the Toppers do a good job of sealing the corner. And, Paul, according to the way the Winona players are signaling, it looks like it may be against Houston again. We'll have to sort it out, but I believe it is. Well, I believe you're right. I can't believe that call. We'll have to wait and see what the board of directors decide on this. But, unfortunately, again, Patrick, Coach Spunk and his staff have to be very displeased because we are making some mistakes, Patrick, that are kind of biting us right now, as you said a couple minutes ago. Well, they did a good job of sealing the corner. Paul, and Harrell had a good lane to run the football. Unfortunately, it will come back. Well, the official threw the flag very, very late. In fact, the flag was thrown almost after the tackle was made. From where I was sitting at, of course, I may have missed something. But we'll bring up a first down. First down, about 21 yards to go for the first down. First down marker just inside the 5, around the 3-yard line. And McCullough will bring his football team. We'll set them in motion at that point. We'll have Harrell, who will be the fullback. We'll have Robinson, who will be in the football game as well, and throw the quick slant, Patrick. Pass intended over the middle on the quick slant pattern that time to Griffin. Ball falls harmlessly to the ground, incomplete. We'll bring up a second down and long. Well, it was interesting, Paul. It looked like they came to the line of scrimmage rather quickly and with a little sense of urgency. Don't know if the clock was running a little bit short or if it was just an opportunity maybe to catch them off guard. They'd try the slant unsuccessfully, Paul. It was there, though, in the middle of the field and would have worked big if completed. As Joseph Dendy will bring the play in the huddle for the Toppers and will line up at the left split end position, as it'll be flanked out wide to the left. We'll have Robinson in the fullback position, as Robinson will get, looks like maybe Patrick, one of the Winona defensive players, maybe the defensive tackle that time for Winona, looked like Brandon Kim was a young man that was anticipating the snap count and did jump offside. Yeah, Kim got into the neutral zone. Of course, Paul, and he got back in college football, professional football, the play would have continued, but in high school football, when you break that neutral zone, they call you for offsides and penalize the defensive unit, so it'll bring up 5 yards in penalty yardage for the Hilltoppers. Griffin will check in as Dendy will come out. The Weaver will come over the football. It'll be second down on 18 yards to go from the Winona 19-yard line. McCullough will call out signals from that point. We'll have Harrell in the backfield. We'll go on the fade pattern. Patrick intended in the left end zone. Pass will fall in and out of the hands. Look like maybe the corner from Winona may have got his hands on the football as the ball got close to Griffin on the left sideline. Well, Paul, I'm not sure if he got a hand on the football or not. The ball looked like it was right in the old bread basket. I'm not sure whether he got just enough, maybe the hand, maybe in his vision, and maybe deterred his vision from catching the ball, or he may have got a piece of it, but nevertheless, pass is incomplete. We're an extremely long way from the field. I didn't realize how far we actually were, but we are a pretty good piece up. But quite frankly, it was a good play. It looked like maybe if the corner from Winona didn't get his hand on the football, obstructed his vision somewhat and kept Griffin from making the catch. As Weaver will be over the football at the 19, that will send, looks like McCullough in motion. Actually, a little throwback as he'll run back to the right. Patrick will cross around the 15, will be knocked down around the 17-yard line. The ball, he fumbled the football, but he definitely was down, as it will be around the 17-yard line. Fourth down, Patrick, and Houston with these penalties, Patrick, have taken themselves out of what they'd like to do. And I'm sure we're going to see Mr. Horn right here, Patrick, probably attempt a 36-yard field goal. Paul, indeed, Horn is going to check in to kick the field goal. The unfortunate thing for McCullough there is he rolled to his right, looked upfield. No one had gotten open, no separation. He had to tuck it and run. Fourth down, 14 from the 18-yard line. Horn will actually spot the football around the 24-yard line. Only about a 5-yard drop right there, actually, from center. Well, actually, no, they're on about the 18. You're exactly right. We'll bring a 34-yard attempt here as the pass back was good. The kick is long enough. It's high enough. Patrick, it looks like it may be off to the right and no good. So with 7 minutes and 18 seconds left to go here in the second quarter, Patrick, the Horn field goal, no good, and Winona has staved off another rally, kind of keeping themselves in the football game if they can find some offense. Well, Paul, Houston's been their own worst enemy, and of course, as you mentioned, Winona has done nothing offensively in this football game, but yet only finds themselves behind 7-0 with just about midway through the second quarter of play. Unfortunately, Paul, for Horn, he got plenty of leg in that field goal, Paul, but he just pushed it a little bit to the right. Well, he did, Patrick, as Reed Biggers, a 5'11", 175-pound center, will come over the football at the 20-yard line as a quarterback Beckwith will have a wide receiver split wide to the left. That's Harbin. We'll call out signals from that point. We'll run the counter option to the right. Patrick, give the football to the fullback. Not able to see, I believe that is maybe Drew Watson. No, Alexander, Gerald Alexander, Patrick, on the carry. And we'll pick up very minimal yardage as he'll cross maybe up to around the 21-yard line. Again, no really appreciable gain. Well, Jerome Lyons, Paul, slid across the line of scrimmage to make the stop defensively for Houston, and only allowing him to pick up a yard. It brings up 2nd and 9. Second down, 9 yards to go as Flowers will dot the I at around the 15-yard line. The tailback, they will come with a little misdirection to the left. Big hole this time as Flowers will cross up above the 27 to around the 28-yard line. Actually, a pretty nice pickup on the play. Maybe Winona's best play here in the football game. Paul, they ran a little bit of misdirections. They faked it to the fullback, came the opposite direction to the tailback, and Jim McCullough made a good tackle on the open field there from his defensive back position. If not, Paul, Flowers is continuing to run. Third down, 3 yards to go from the 27-yard line as Beckwith, the 5'10", 140 pounds, 6'1", 175-pound junior quarterback, will bring his football team to the line of scrimmage. We'll have Alexander, who will be the fullback. Again, Flowers will dot the I, have the wide receiver Harbin split wide to the left. We'll try to run the little quarterback sneak, Patrick, and that's just a little play where just the quarterback in the center try to take off with the football basically and try to catch everybody off guard. Nothing doing at all. Well, Paul, I don't know why the coaches ran that one. I don't understand that because they're fourth down, 3 yards to go, and they've actually done nothing as far as the line, controlling the line of scrimmage. And now, Paul, they're going to be forced to call a timeout. And there is a timeout on the field. 5:36 left to go here in the first half of action. We're going to take it with them, and we'll be back after this message from our local sponsors.
Coach McRae and his staff have decided to punt the football. I think they were actually maybe contemplating going for the first down. And he will check Kilman to the football game, Patrick, as, boy, what a snap from center. As he'll step into the football right around the 20, and the ball will cross over and gets really a good roll. In fact, actually, a young man from Winona touched the football probably before he should have. And the ball will actually be down at around the 42-yard line. Looked like the young man down in the football was Octavia Tops. That time for the Winona Tigers, Patrick, and will bring up a first down and 10 for the Toppers at their own 42-yard line. Real quickly, Patrick, we were talking about the games around the area. West Point's at Noxubee County tonight. Walnut, Smithville, Vardaman, and Calhoun City are going at it tonight, Patrick, over in Calhoun City. And what should be a heck of a football game tonight, Patrick, over in Calhoun County. Tishomingo County is at Lafayette. Tupelo is at Starkville. What an interesting affair there. Patrick, and Bruce is entertaining South Pontotoc. As the Topper will set up shot first and 10. Patrick can get in the football. Patrick is Harrell. He's at the 40. At the 30, will make a guy miss around the 35-yard line. Will be knocked off his feet as he crosses down from the 25 to around the 23-yard line. As Holman actually on the carry did a good job, Patrick, of picking up very, very positive yardage on the play. About a pickup of about 32 on the play. As it'll be a first down, 10 yards to go from the Winona, right around the 18-yard line. Well, Paul Holman just ran it on that from that little wing position. Paul lined up to the left. And, Paul, what a humongous hole he had to run the football through. And a big play offensively for the Toppers. And they, again, have it deep into Winona territory. Pretty much the entire football game has been played on the Winona side of the field. And we want to thank our fine sponsors helping make Houston Hilltopper football courtesy to you tonight. TV7, TV 34, Union Planters Bank here in Patrick. Thank those fine folks for helping make Houston Hilltopper football available to you tonight. Griffin Motor Company, Pylon Wholesale Furniture, Classic Exteriors Vinyl Siding, King's Tire, Custom Auto Accessories, A&A Electrical Supply, Home Discount Lumber and Supply, Quick Cash. For all your quick cash needs, Patrick, Quick Cash here in Houston. Dixieland Manufacturing Company now taking applications. Wanted us to pass that message along to all the listeners. Chickasaw Equipment Company, Bargain Warehouse, Grocers Pride, Springer Homes with locations in Woodland, Houston, Pontotoc, and Starkville, Hunters Holla, and Grisani Rebel Motors. Houston first down, 10 yards to go from the Winona 14-yard line. As they give the football to Robinson, Patrick, and Robinson will just run over, folks, as he will get, looks like probably first down yardage again as he'll cross inside the 5 to around the 3-yard line. Good job of running the football that time by Robinson. Well, Paul, they just run to the corner, get to the corner first, and Robinson doing a good job exploiting the daylight and getting a nice pickup on first down. Really, really near a first down. I think he had earned it. And it's first and goal for the Hilltoppers. First down and goal to go from the 4-yard line as Griffin will check out and Dindy will come in and bring the play into the huddle to McCullough with 5 minutes to go here before halftime. I'm sure Coach Funk would like to have more than 14 points, Patrick. It seems like they should have more than that, but maybe they can correct some of these mental mistakes that they have made. As McCullough will call out signals, give the football to the fullback, and crossing to around the 1. Not sure if he got in or not, Patrick. Don't think he did. Was Antoine Harrell. Harrell knocked down right around the 1-yard line, Patrick. Young man making the stop was LaMarcus McKinney, 5'10", 180-pound defensive lineman, senior defensive lineman for the Winona Tigers. Well, Paul, he got just inside the 2, right along the 1, so we'll bring up second down and go from the 1. After just a little dive play, Paul, they run it to the right just a little bit and just shy of the end zone. As Weaver will come over the football at that point, McCullough will call out signals as we'll have into the football game, Patrick, and we'll get the nice forward push as McCullough will just score on the little quarterback sneak, and the Toppers have taken the lead. Now 13-0, 4 minutes, 26 seconds left to go here in the second quarter of play. Well, Paul, that was set up all from the Rod Holman run as Paulie, I think it only took some 4 plays on the drive for the Hilltoppers. Big chunks of yardage and a nice, impressive drive. And they get 6 points on the scoreboard. Well, a good job that time, Patrick, by Horn, by Weaver, by White. The entire interior line doing a good job of Patrick finding an opportunity for the young man to find the end zone and put the Toppers on top 14-0. As coming into the football game will be Horn. The holder will be Brand. Patrick, the snap back is good. The kick is high enough, it's long enough, and it's true. With 4 minutes, 26 seconds left to go here before halftime, the Toppers 14, the Winona Tigers nothing. We'll be back after these messages from our local sponsor. Horn will step into the football. Patrick Flowers will be deep and will gather it in around the 8 as the wall will be set up at that point. Young man looking for somewhere to go with the football and will be knocked down around the 22-yard line. Pretty good special teams coverage that time by the Toppers. Patrick, I think you got some information you want to pass along for us about high school football around the area tonight. You were talking about, I think you have a score maybe for us.
Well, Paul, we have a score, and I don't know if this is we understand Bruce and South Pontotoc playing at Bruce. South Pontotoc with a slight lead in the first half, 20-13. Pretty high-scoring affair from what we understand.
Well, I know people will know the score of this before we actually do the game tomorrow and before they see it, but quite frankly, Patrick, the reason why we mention that is because that will be the opponent next week for the Trojans as they will play South Pontotoc. Beckwith will be in the football game. Give the football off to Flowers, Patrick, and the young man will not get anything as he'll be knocked down or again around the line of scrimmage and making the tackle on the play that time for the Toppers was not really sure, Patrick, were you able to pick up who made the play?
Yeah, Paul, it looked like that coming up to make the stop defensively. It appeared, Paul, to be the defensive tackle, Eddie White. Paul, also Holman had an opportunity in the backfield. Couldn't finish him off, but I tell you what, White came in and tattooed him pretty well.
Did a good job, Patrick. White will knock him down for no appreciable gain as coming over the football will be Biggers around the 22-yard line. Be split wide to the left will be the wide receiver over there will be Mosley, not Mosley, but will run the option. Patrick to the right. Beckwith will be knocked down around the 25-yard line. No appreciable gain, actually. Picked up about 3. Will bring up a third down. Another possession play, 7 yards to go for the first down.
Paul, Lance Buchanan did a good job of just sliding along the line of scrimmage as he slid down the line of scrimmage. Made the stop on the on the option play. Did a good job, Paul. It looked like the option had opened up. But a good job of closing quickly by Buchanan.
I think you said it probably exactly right a couple minutes ago when you said, Patrick, that probably you don't think Winona's seen anyone with probably the speed that maybe that Houston's defense probably possesses tonight. And you can tell they're having some problems with it. As Harbin will be split wide to the left. Flowers will dot the eye. Patrick will be knocked down. Patrick actually Beckwith will. Looks like that's Caleb Chandler, Patrick, on the quarterback sack as he'll knock him down. Oh, goodness, knocked him down around about the 14-yard line. We'll bring up a fourth down around 20. And they'll have to punt the football.
Well, Paul, right now the Hilltoppers are completely controlling the line of scrimmage. Paul, it looked like that they were trying to run some type of option and then drop back out of the option to throw out of the formation. But tremendous pursuit by Chandler in that defensive front, and they drop him for a loss.
And coming in the football game again will be Kim. He'll step into the football somewhere around the goal line as deep to get the football. Patrick will be, looks like Brand. The ball will be punted and knocked down around the 50-yard line, actually around the 48. Houston will get the football right around the Winona, 48.5, 49 yards.
Well, Paul, there's going to be a roughing the punter, more than likely caught against the Hilltoppers. On that, Coach Funk has decided to come after the punter. And quite frankly, Paul, you can see there's a lot of loft and a lot of lob in that snap to the snapper or to the punter. And Paul, more than likely, they're going to call roughing the kicker, but you really can't blame them for gambling a little bit because Paul really slow in getting rid of that football, and I think Harrell's going to be guilty of roughing the punter.
Well, there's no question about that, Patrick. We talked about that earlier. They're having a hard time getting any velocity whatsoever on the deep snap from the waiting on the punter from the deep snapper. And, quite frankly, that I can't blame Coach Funk and his staff for trying to come to get the punt, Patrick, because you're just like myself. You're thinking, man, we can get an easy block and maybe get an easy score.
Well, unfortunately for Harrell, Paul, he came right up the middle of the field, and unfortunately he had no angle to avoid the punter, so he was coming directly at him, and he rolled right into him. Tough break for the Hilltoppers. First down for Winona via the penalty.
First down, 10 yards to go from their own 29-yard line. As Beckwith will bring his football team to the line of scrimmage. Will come over his center Biggers at that point. Will split wide to the left. That will be Corey Harbin, the split end. Split wide to the right will be, looks like Jonathan Stanton, as Flowers will dot the I. As he'll run the counter option to the right, Patrick will give the football to the fullback. And Alexander, Patrick, will cross the 40 to around the 43. And their best offensive play from scrimmage tonight is they pick up about 14 on the carry on the quick count.
Well, Paul, that's their first down of the football game, and it comes with 1:50 remaining in the first half. Paul, that's the thing about running the option. You have to be disciplined on defense. You got to play all phases of the option, and Paul, this time he elected to give it to the fullback, and the fullback found some daylight. Well, Patrick, when you're running the triple option, you're going to make the decision. The quarterback is in the line of scrimmage. Somebody's going to be on block. It's left up to the quarterback to make the read. That time, Beckwith did a pretty good job and made the right read. As Beck looks like maybe Houston may have jumped a little early. Patrick counter option to the left, and Beckwith will be knocked down at his own 39-yard line. Lost about 3 on the play. Good job that time by the Toppers, getting good penetration defensive. Caleb Chandler, Paul, came up from his defensive end to spill him and ran a little counter play, a little counter option, and really, Paul, just nothing doing right there. Again, the Hilltoppers with tremendous, look like, Paul, they're really kniving through and getting a lot of pressure and getting through those lanes. You get tired of calling Caleb's name, don't you? I tell you what, you call his name so much. It just, of course, the young man is such a great football player and a fine young man, but you call his name almost every play. He is that effective defensively. Nice hit that time, Patrick, by another young man that we call his name a lot, Patrick, and that's Tucker. Tucker did a good job, Patrick, of making the play on the football that time as well. Paul, a little counter play, and it worked for some pretty good yardage, but the Hilltoppers have elected to call a timeout, and Paul, for all intents and purposes, they also have they have all their timeouts, so they still have 2 remaining. More than likely, Paul, if they hold them from getting the first down, may elect to burn the other timeout and force them to punt the football. Well, they'd like Coach Funk would like to get the football back again, Patrick, and put some points on the board. We'll go real quickly, Patrick, through the top 5 here by in the large school poll here by the Northeast Mississippi Daily Journal. The number 1 team, Patrick, still a consensus team, probably in the area still, Patrick, and a future opponent and a divisional opponent for the Toppers in a few weeks. Patrick, the Shannon Red Raiders are still number 1 with a 5-0 record. 3A really dominates this poll, Patrick. Every school is from Class 3A. Corinth, Patrick, is number 2. Very, very good football team. Brian Brown and company, great quarterback. Explosive offensively. They're number 2. Pontotoc, Patrick, has been very, very steady here lately. Football team, it's a pretty solid football team, is at number 3. Ripley, number 4, and the Toppers, Patrick, check in at number 5. In the small school poll, the Vardaman Rams, Patrick, are absolutely red hot. They beat a very good Hamilton football team last week, if I'm not mistaken, 61-6. Very good football team. They're number 1, followed by Boonville at number 2. Smithville is checking in at number 3, Patrick. The Moorville Troopers, quite a story they are, have beat Baldwin last week. They're number 4, and Hamilton's number 5 in the small school poll still as in Northeast Mississippi High School football. Beckwith will bring this football team to the line of scrimmage and will roll back in the pocket. Patrick will look upfield, will throw the pass up the middle of the field, and the pass will be in and out of the defensive back's hands. It looks like Tucker, actually, Patrick, dropping back in coverage from his linebacker position. Did a pretty good job of getting depth. Yeah, that's one thing you want your defensive backs or linebackers to do when they're in coverage is get depth, and that time Tucker did a fine job. Well, credit the offensive line for Winona, giving him plenty of time to throw the football. This time, Paul, they actually protected him well. And he may have threw that one to the wrong shoulder just a little bit, but good, solid coverage in the secondary by the Hilltoppers. They almost look like they're going to go for it here on 4th down, Patrick, and I really can't say that I blame them because they may be afraid they're going to call a timeout. Now, they may be afraid they're going to get their punt blocked. That might be a very good decision by Coach McRae and staff. Well, Paul, you're exactly right. Good call and a good possibility. Getting back to that Moorville story, Paul, a tremendous story. I don't know if you saw the story in the Daily Journal on that football team yesterday. Since the inception of the playoffs, they've been to the playoffs one time in 1986, and they haven't been back. And a nice story, Paul. They have an opportunity with beating that Baldwin club last week. Of course, Boonville, Baldwin considered the odds-on favorites. Now Baldwin and Baldwin and Boonville actually are playing tonight. And, of course, if Baldwin drops that one, they're probably out of the playoff race. But if Moorville, Paul, can hold serve, win all their games, except with the exception maybe that Boonville game, may find themselves in the playoffs for the first time since the inception in 1986. Paul, their head coach, Coach Bradley, was a member of that football team. He alluded to that. And a good story on that team. Left-handed quarterback. I don't know if you remember him playing or not. I remember him well. I know you do as well. Left-handed quarterback, and the young man is a young football coach, and that has made things happen. And they've christened a new stadium. If I'm not mistaken, at Moorville, they have a new place they're playing at. They have a beautiful facility. I talked to a guy that I work with. Patrick, his son, plays at Thrasher High School, Patrick, close to Boonville, and he said it says they really have a beautiful complex. They are indeed going for it on 4th down as the left offensive tackle, Patrick, for Winona. Actually, that may be the tight end.
just a little bit early out of the stance. No, that is the left offensive tackle. The young man that punts the football, Kim, came up out of his stance and will bring it back 5 yards. We'll make it 4th and 12. Now it'll be interesting to see what Coach McCray and staff do. Will they continue to go for the ball, go for the first down, or will they punt the football?
Well, I'll tell you, Paul, I don't know what you do right here, because if you don't get the punt off, you're going to yield some more field position. I think they're going to go for it again. They are indeed going to go for the first down, as they will have twins split wide to the left. Wide to the left will be we don't have the young man number in the program, Patrick, but split wide to the right will be Harbin. They'll run the little counter option, just trying to kill some time, Patrick, and Alexander will be knocked down. I'm sure Houston will call a timeout at the 43. Pretty interesting alignment that time. You know, you got to admit that's really a good way to run the football. Puts 2 men out, split wide, has twins to the left, twins to the right, and you have an opportunity to run the football in between the tackles. I've always said it's a lot easier to run the football, Patrick, when there's less men on the line of scrimmage. And it looked like that time Coach McCray, that's what he was trying to do, trying to run the option, but nowhere to run the football still. Well, something very interesting, Paul, to me here on that particular play. A lot of the clock just ticked off right there as that was 4th down, turnover of change of possession. And I think, Paul, that the Hilltoppers lost 6 or 7 seconds of clock.
That's not supposed to happen at home.
That's supposed to happen, period, because the clock should have stopped. But the Hilltoppers lost some time there.
Well, they did lose some time, but, you know, it's really not supposed to happen at home. When you're at home, you're supposed to have the benefit of the doubt. It's not supposed to happen there. We'll bring up a first down, 10 yards to go from the Winona 43-yard line as Coach Funk will check in his offensive football team at that point. Patrick, we're looking forward here at the halftime intermission. We'll have the Houston Hilltopper band. Patrick, I know Mr. Morgan's going to do a fine job of filming those folks, Patrick, at halftime. He's looking like he's already getting ready for the halftime festivities. And, of course, we look forward to watching the Hilltopper band as well.
Well, Paul, getting back to the high school action around the area, Pontotoc, as you mentioned, another team in our area that we cover. Pontotoc is playing their homecoming game tonight against Coffeyville. Of course, the big matchup, I think, in the area is in 1A, as you just mentioned, with that Calhoun City-Vardaman football game in Calhoun County. Ought to be an interesting matchup.
They're putting more time on the clock, Patrick. That's what the coaching staff has alluded to. That's why there's a little bit of a delay on the field, as the board of directors have gotten their facts together, and they're going to put that time back on the clock for you, Patrick.
Well, Paul, I notice Coach Funk is still looking right here directly at us, and you're exactly right. The officials allowed too much time to get away. Some 7 or 8 seconds. They put 6 back on the board, so they get 27 seconds. And, Paul, have some time to throw the football, try to get it down the field.
Well, still, I mean, you've got an opportunity to score points here. I mean, you like the 6, but you still always have an opportunity to get the 3. I'm sure that Mr. Horn would like to have an opportunity to redeem himself on the missed out field goal.
Well, don't forget, if they get into his range, he very much so is capable of kicking one.
As McCullough will bring his football to the line of scrimmage, will roll back in the pocket, will look upfield, will fire the football deep up the field for Robinson. The pass will fall harmlessly to the ground. Patrick, that time McCullough showed a pretty good arm.
Oh, he did. He put a lot of air underneath that one, Paul, and gave Robinson an opportunity to run underneath it. Good job of stepping up and avoiding some pressure as well, as the pocket collapsed just a little bit, and McCullough did a good job of just stepping up, Paul, and getting himself a little bit of time to deliver the football.
The one thing that I have noticed about McCullough all season long, Patrick, is his tendency to move up in the pocket and to step up in the pocket. You don't see a lot of high school quarterbacks that do that. He's very well disciplined. He does a good job of stepping up in the pocket.
A lot of poise by that kid.
Second down, 10 yards to go, as Robinson will come in motion. There's flags that are going to be down everywhere. We'll just blow the play dead.
Flags on the play. That's a dead ball foul.
We'll bring a dead ball foul. Probably will march the Toppers back 5 yards. Will they put the 3 seconds back on the clock, Pat?
Not this time.
Not this time. Well, I thought you would catch that. Your very astute knowledge a couple minutes ago of the clock still running. I was a little bit late on that. Wasn't able to pick it up, but will be a legal motion penalty. We'll march the football back 5 yards.
That'll back him up 5 yards. Bring up second.
To the 47-yard line. We'll bring up a 2nd down and 15 from that point. As coming out of the football game for the Toppers, Patrick, will be Travis McManus. And coming in looks like will be Griffin, along with maybe also coming. They're going to reset the clock again at 21, Patrick. Look at the officials. You're on top of it tonight. Well, Paul, you called that one. Good call, Paul, because I did not talk about the time this time. You did, and of course the official does put the time back on the clock. As beginning back, Paul, in the other area high school, Paul, action in Class 3A and 1-3A. Big game tonight in New Albany. New Albany playing against Corinth. Paul, you have to think if Corinth gets a win in that game tonight, they're in the driver's seat in 1-3A. Well, you'd think so, Patrick. Their only challenge they may have left might be the Pontotoc game, as Robinson will come in motion, and he'll roll to the right. McCullough throw the football up the field, pass complete to Griffin, and out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Nice hands that time by Griffin. And good field awareness by Griffin, Paul. He ran it to the sideline, just went to his spot, got right there to the spot, and he alertly, Paul, went out of bounds after he caught the football. Good delivery by McCullough as well. Good job on the play that time by Griffin. Good delivery that time by the quarterback, McCullough. First down, 10 yards to go from the Winona 33-yard line, Patrick, as looks like Chandler will be in as a tight end this time. Patrick is also in the football game. At one of the positions will be Holman, Patrick, as McCullough will roll to his left. We'll look up the football field. Has a receiver wide open. That's Robinson in the end zone for the touchdown, as Houston will put points on the scoreboard here with 8 seconds left to go here before halftime. Super job that time by Robinson of just finding a soft spot in the coverage, and Patrick and getting wide open in the end zone. Paul, unfortunately, I didn't see the pattern develop, but he was all alone. I mean, you're as a defensive coordinator, defensive coaching staff, you don't allow anyone to get behind you, but fortunately right there for the Toppers, he was able to do so. I don't know if the DB fell down, slipped down, or whatever, but Robinson was all alone for the touchdown. Well, Patrick, unfortunately, all the mistakes have been something the coach, I'm sure the Coach Funk isn't happy with, but you always have to be happy if you can go about 50 yards, 47 yards in about 19 seconds right before halftime. Good job of execution by the Topper offense. Horn's kick is high enough, it's long enough, and it's true. With 8 seconds left to go here before the halftime intermission, the Houston Hilltoppers lead 21-0. We'll be back after these messages from our local sponsors. 8 seconds, all that remains as Horn will step into the football. Flowers will be deep for Winona. 8.7 seconds as Flowers will gather it in. Actually, Patrick, I think that is actually for the Tigers. Not sure who that young man is. They don't have his number in the program. He's number 29, but he'll get the football. Derek Mosley, Paul. He actually, we'll call it Derek Mosley. It's number 20. And Mosley will get back to around the 20, and I don't know if he was the young man that returned the football or not, but you're right, 29 is not in our game. Right? I didn't see a number for 29. It looked like 29. It could have been somebody else. I may be wrong. It's awfully hard to read Winona's jerseys from here. That white jersey with the red numbers are awfully hard to read. 1 second is all that remains here before halftime, and unless something miraculous happens, we're probably going to go to the halftime intermission 21-0. Well, you think Winona wants to go to this knee and just get to the halftime intermission as quick as they can, trailing 21-0 here just a second before the half. And they're going to go the football off to Flowers, and that will bring to an end the first half of play. Good half for the Toppers, though, as they will go to the halftime intermission with a 21-0 lead. And I want everybody to stay with us, Patrick, as they'll watch the Hilltopper band, Patrick, perform here at the halftime intermission. And we look forward to it, Paul. As we mentioned, the Hilltoppers yielded just 1 first down defensively in this first half. Paul, they controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football game and have just completely dominated this halftime, homecoming contest, 21-0 over the Winona Tigers here at halftime. And before we take it away, we want to thank our fine sponsors again: Union Planters Bank here in Houston, Griffin Motor Company, Pylon Wholesale Furniture, Classic Exteriors Vinyl Siding, King's Tire, Reggie Callahan owner here in town, Custom Auto Accessories, your Bell South provider here in Houston, Carl Rogers, and the folks down there do a super job. A&A Electrical Supply Company, Walter and Pat Archer, all those fine folks, Home Discount Lumber and Supply, Quick Cash. Come by and see Rhonda or Vicky for any of your quick cash needs. Dixieland Manufacturing Company here in Chickasaw County, now taking applications. Chickasaw Equipment Company, your Polaris dealer here in town. Bargain Warehouse, Grocer's Pride, Springer Homes in Woodland, Houston, Pontotoc, and Starkville locations, all to serve. Hunter's Holla in Oxford, and also Grisani Rebel Motors. Not only do we want you to thank those fine folks for being sponsors for Houston Hilltopper football, also go by and see these folks and do business with all these fine folks. We're going to watch the bands here at the halftime intermission. 21-0 is your score, and we'll be back with the start of the third quarter of action.
show will include the songs Magical Mystery Tour, Hard Day's Night, Hey Jude, Eleanor Rigby, Oh Darling, and The End. The band is under the field direction of drum major LaMarcus Patrick. We hope you enjoy the Topper Pride Band.
You said they scored at South Pontotoc Bruce game? South Pontotoc Bruce game scoring in?
And Amy Sanders, majorette instructor is Miriam Garner, flag captains are Tiffany Crawford and Crystal Fizzackerly. Thank you for supporting the Topper Pride Band.
And we're ready for third quarter play as Bishop Reed will hit the kickoff, the pop-up kickoff, Patrick, to Chandler. Caleb will bring it in around the 32 and we'll cross up to around the 40 and around the 39-yard line, actually Houston 39-yard line. The Toppers will set up shop. First down, 10 yards to go from that point. And good field position for the Hilltoppers. Paul, I'd like to get a score or two right here and put some distance between them and Winona, and Paul get some reserves in here and rest themselves up for a big division matchup starting division play next week when South Pontotoc comes in. And the last score we had, South Pontotoc, somewhat surprisingly, was leading, I think, last time we heard against Bruce, 20-13. I believe that game is being played over at Bruce Homecoming. Of course, this is homecoming activity here tonight from Houston as well. McCullough will call out signals, give the football to Robinson, and Robinson will be knocked down to the earth, maybe lost a yard or two on the play right around the 37-yard line. Kim, the outside backer that time from Winona, pretty good job of filling the lane and making the tackle. Well, Paul, Chris White, the defensive lineman, the 6'3", 245-pound junior, got him by the legs and just got enough of him to hold him up. Kim came in and finished him off. We'll bring up a second down, 10 yards to go from right around the the Houston 37-yard lines, just the start of the third quarter of play as Weaver will come over to the football at the 37-yard line. McCullough will call signals at that point. We'll give the football actually on the little cross-butt play over to Holman. Holman will lose yardage again as he will not make it up to the back to the 37-yard line, as it will bring up a third down possession play. Third down, 10 yards to go, and the Toppers, Patrick, 2 offensive plays. No net yards so far. Paul, you got to give Beckwith credit. The guy playing quarterback, also playing defensive back, did a good job, Paul, just sliding along the line of scrimmage and making the play defensively for Winona. And it brings up third down and basically 10, as there's no gain on either two of these first 2 plays. So third down and 10 for the Hilltop. Gann will bring the play into action. Will be split wide to the left. Looks like Holman will be wide to the right. And we'll throw the football on the little crossing pattern to the tight end, Chandler. Patrick Chandler will have first down yardage, as it will be knocked down around the Winona 44-yard line. That time, nice job by McCullough and Chandler. Well, Paul Chandler has shown himself as a weapon here in this game here offensively, has made some big catches down the field. Also, Paul, see him limping around a little bit. Looks like he's gotten shaken up a little bit. As a plethora of players come in the football game this time for Houston, looks like coming back in the football game was the wide receiver again, Joseph Dendy. And also coming in was Holman along with Griffin, as Holman will be wide to the right in the wingback position. They'll give the football on the dive play. Getting the football will be Harrell, if I'm not mistaken. That's Harrell crossing inside the 35 to around the 33. Another solid pickup, Patrick, as he'll get another first down, as he'll cross around the 33 to around the 32.5, 31-yard line. Should be another first down. Nice opening drive here so far to start the third quarter of action from the Toppers. So, Paul, just a nice hole open up between the guard and the center there, and he ran right through it on the little dive play and got a good gain of some 12 yards and a first down for Harrell. McManus checks in. Dendy will come out as Weaver will come over to the line of scrimmage, and the offensive guard position right beside him. It looks like, Patrick, that is Eddie White, as the ball will be giving on the dive play, and taking the football will be Harrell, and Harrell will cross. He'll crack down around the 29 to about the 28-yard line. Probably a pickup of about 2.5, 3 yards on the play. We'll call it 2. Should bring up a second down and maybe a long short 8, maybe long 7. Paul, actually, it was a nice effort right there by Harrell. He didn't have a whole lot of room to run the football through, and he gained a good pickup of 4 on the play. Basically the same play that they ran the play before. Griffin will bring the play in the huddle, as McCullough will bring his football team to the line of scrimmage. The temperatures have dipped down a little bit, Patrick, since the start of the football game. It's a little chillier now than it was earlier in the game, as Harrell will get the football on the little quick hitter, and will be very, very close, Patrick, to first down yardage, as he'll be down around the 22-yard line. Just have to wait and see where the indication and the spot is on the play. Looks like he's close to first down country, and indeed does have a first down. Will bring up a first down opportunity for the Toppers at the Winona 21-yard line. Again, Paul, Harrell's been the workhorse on this drive. Got the football 3 straight plays. Just ran it off right tackle and got the first down. And coming into the lineup now for the Toppers is Scott Gann. Checking out will be Griffin, as Gann will split wide to the left. And the wide receiver position also, and at the wing back will be Holman. In the backfield will be Harrell again. Harrell will get the football again. Patrick, nice opening, Patrick, as he will cross down inside the 5 to around the 3. And like you said, Patrick, the workhorse on the drive is Harrell, as he'll cross down to around the 2.5, 3-yard line. And you hope the young man gets the football here and gets to put it in the end zone, because he has been the focal point of this drive. Well, Paul, really nothing any different on that play that's been on the other 3 plays before. While they just ran the football right up the gut. Harrell did a good job of keeping those legs turning forward and got the first down. First down and goal to go from the 3. And he's coming out of the football game. Unfortunately, might not be able to be the young man that gets the score, but Terrell Harrell will be in the football game. Patrick, get the football. If one Harrell can't get in the end zone, maybe the other one can. Touchdown, Houston, as Harrell will find the end zone. Indeed, Paul, Tyrell Harrell came in and got the ball in the end zone. The Harrells were quite busy on that drive, but very successful, and Houston has got on the scoreboard on their initial possession here in the third quarter of play in the second half. And again, a good job, Patrick, on the forward ball that time. Looked like Hartwig along with the center, Patrick Weaver, White, Horn, all those young men, Patrick, doing a good job of finding holes and avenues for the Houston backs to run the football through. 27-0 extra point pending here, as the snapback is good. The kick is high enough, long enough, and it is good as well. With 8 minutes and 2 seconds left to go here in the third quarter, it's Houston 28, Winona nothing. We'll be back after these messages from our local sponsors. Horn will step into the football as deep will be Flowers. The ball is going to bound around on the 18-yard line, will be picked up at that point. And young man will get up to around the 24, 25-yard line. That's where the field general for the Winona Tiger football team, Brad Beckworth. I want to say Brian Beckworth. I don't know why I want to say that, Pat. I think that's a famous person or something. Will set up shop. First down, 10 yards to go for the Winona Tigers at that point. Very authoritative drive, Patrick. Way to start the second half, first possession of the second half. That time for Houston. Harrell got the majority of the carries, got them deep down in the Winona into the field, and then Terrell Harrell put the ball in the end zone from 2 yards out. As looks like Flowers will dot the I. Alexander will be close, and Flowers will get the football on a little carry. Will cross up around the 30. Patrick has some running room down the sidelines, not down around the 42-yard line. Looked like that it may have been Holman. That may have been the young man that knocked the young man, Holman was the young man that knocked Flowers out of bounds as he got up around the 44-yard line. A pickup of about 19 or 20 on the play. We'll bring up the first down and a nice carry that time by the young man. Well, he showed a little bit of power, Paul, as he got in the open field, and a little bit of a burst of speed as well as he went over right tackle, Paul. They gave him a little room to run through, and the young man looks like he knows what to do with it if given the opportunity to run with it. As the center, Biggers will come over the football at the 43-yard line. The quarterback, Beckwith, will call out his signals from that point. Alexander close. It looks like Flowers will dot the I. Will call signals and will give the football and bend the backfield. And a lot of trouble will be Flowers. And Flowers will be knocked down around the 35-yard line. Absolutely great penetration by the Topper defensive line. All that play was doomed from the start. The Hilltoppers were faked the stunt or faked a little bit of a blitz all throughout the whole cadence and count of the quarterback. Paul never did check off, and unfortunately for the Hilltoppers, Paul, they shot right through those gaps. They're just ganging up on the line of scrimmage. Winona not having anywhere to run the football at all. As Biggers will come over the football around the 38-yard line, as Beckwith will bring this team to the line of scrimmage. Again, Alexander will be close, and again, Flowers will dot the I. We'll have Reed out to the left. We'll run the option to the right. Patrick with Flowers. The football is rolling loosely on the ground. There's a flag on the play. Houston has the football. We'll have to wait and see what the penalty's about. I think it's going to be on Winona, and I think Houston will probably keep the football. We'll just have to wait and see what the board of directors says. Well, Paul, I didn't see what caused the penalty flag. Unfortunately, I was trying to watch the football on the option. Indeed, I think you're right. I think it's going to be whistle against Winona, and possession will be granted to the Hilltoppers, but just try to run that little belly series option play, and the pitch not handled by Flowers, and the Hilltoppers, Johnny on the spot, recover the fumble. Not sure who the young man from Houston was that recovered the fumble, Pat. I wasn't able to gather his number. Unfortunately, we're not like all these great sportscasters that have all these guys that are their spotters, because if we did, we'd know who recovered that fumble. I don't know, maybe they know who recovered the fumble. Chris Griffin recovered the fumble is what we have been informed. So Chris did a good job of being Johnny on the spot and alert and making the play. And the Toppers will set up shop at the Winona 37-yard line. That time McCullough will bring his team to the line of scrimmage. Will give the football, Patrick, to Holman. And it looks like, Brand. That's in the football game, Brand, and Brand's going to score. Brand will score from 37 yards out, Patrick, with 6 minutes to go basically here in the third quarter. And the Toppers have dented the scoreboard twice here in the second half. Paul, they just ran a little bit of misdirection, Paul, a little bit of misdirection, as I said before, on the play. And Paul Brand did a good job of following his blockers, then made a nice cut. And he was in the secondary, and it was all over. As Brand scores from 37 yards out, Patrick, the way things are going here, if you get in the game, maybe you can score tonight. I tell you what, it looks like it's going to be a pick-em. I'll be honest with you, Patrick. I believe that there might be a lot of folks, even these cheerleaders down here, that might get you from behind. So I don't think they have anything to worry about, but still, good job that time of Brand of getting the football in the end zone. The extra point is up. It is long enough, high enough, and it is off to the left, no good, as the extra point is missed. There's a flag on the play. We'll have to wait and see what happens here. Maybe Mr. Horn will have an opportunity, Patrick, to make up for the miss. Paul, you have to be pleased if you're Coach Funk right here. Your offense has had the football twice, and they've been very authoritative on offense both times. They've scored touchdowns, lead 34-0
here with 6:25 remaining in the third quarter. Evidently, Paul, this penalty flag, an illegal procedure against Houston, and the Hilltoppers are actually Winona will decline it. Houston 34, Winona nothing. Indeed, Patrick, the points was the extra point is no good, but the official having a little bit of trouble down there. He motioned the penalty to the wrong direction, and of course, Patrick again. The score goes to 34 to nothing. Patrick, we're gonna have some fun here in the second half. I mean, you have already talked about where we'll have an opportunity now with a game like this to get our sponsors in. I want you to do that for us just real quickly, and then we'll talk about the SEC games. Well, we'd like to thank our fine sponsors allowing us to bring high school football action to you. TV 734 in Bruce, Houston, Mississippi. We'd like to thank Union Planters Bank, Griffin Motor Company, Pylon Wholesale Furniture, Classic Exteriors Vinyl Siding, King's Tire, Custom Auto Accessories, A&A Electrical Supply, Home Discount Lumber and Supply, Quick Cash, Dixieland Manufacturing Company, now taking applications for employment, Chickasaw Equipment, Bargain Warehouse, Grocer's Pride, Springer Discount Homes, Hunter's Hollow and Grisani Rebel Motors in Oxford, as well as Hunter's Hollow in Oxford. We'd like to thank these fine sponsors for allowing us to bring Houston high school football action to you in your homes, in your living rooms. Indeed, Patrick, real quickly, we'll talk about it as Horn will tee the football up at the 40-yard line as Flowers will be deep, and he'll step into the football right at the 40. The ball is intended. It looks like it's going to be with the football. They're going to give the football, Patrick, on a little reverse to Flowers, and Flowers has some running room as he'll be knocked down around the 27-yard line. There's a flag on the play as well. Tomorrow, kind of an interesting scenario, Patrick. SEC football. All the SEC West football teams are hosting SEC East football teams. And the way it works out, of course, you have the rotating schedules, which will change in 2002. But next, in the following year, in 2002, when this rotating schedule is off, all the schools that it's been a long time for the other schools to play are playing each other tomorrow. Kentucky hasn't played in Oxford or hadn't played Ole Miss since 1992, if I'm not mistaken. Mississippi State hasn't played Florida since 1992, if I'm not mistaken. Both of those teams are coming to Mississippi. Kentucky will visit Oxford. Florida will visit Starkville and play Mississippi State tomorrow. I think Arkansas is at home, and they're entertaining Georgia. They hadn't played each other in a long time. I don't know if they've played each other yet since they've been in the conference, maybe. We'll have to check that one out. I don't know if Arkansas and Georgia have played yet in conference play. South Carolina is traveling to Bama, and they're playing Alabama. I don't know if South Carolina's played Alabama in football since they've been in the conference. What year did they come in the conference? I'm not really sure. Also, tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, Tennessee will be playing at Baton Rouge. First time that's happened since about 1992. So, as you can see, the way the schedule is set up, some interesting ball games tomorrow. Some folks in the SEC playing each other that hadn't played each other in a while.
Ought to be a lot of fun, Paul, and a lot of fun in the state of Mississippi.
Should be a lot of fun. Patrick, as Flowers is in a little bit of trouble and will find his way out to around the 7-yard line. Pretty good pickup on the plays. He got up out of the shadow of his own goalpost. It looked like he was going to be met in the backfield for a possible safety, and did find a way to get out and get up to around the 8-yard line.
Paul, you have to give Eddie White credit. The defensive lineman came up and made the play. Paul, he's had a heck of a game from that defensive line position.
He does a fine job from his defensive line position. Patrick also from his offensive lineman position. With 5:53 left to go here in the third quarter of play, there's a timeout on the field. We're going to take it with them, and we'll be back after these messages from our local sponsors.
Left to go in the third quarter of play.
Second down and 8 from the 8, from right around the 8-yard line. Actually, Patrick, as the quarterback Patrick Beckwith will bring his team to the line of scrimmage. We'll have his wide receiver split wide to the left, as it will give the football to Flowers. Flowers breaks a tackle and will cross up to around the 10 to the 11-yard line. As young man, I can't find him on my program as well, Patrick. Number 21 from Winona, the split wide to the left out here. I'm not sure who that young man is. We have a couple of people we don't know exactly who they are that's here in the football game. Patrick, your comments about this weekend?
Well, Paul, first Flowers, I have to admit, Flowers is a good-looking back. He's ran with a little bit of determination. Paul got some ability if given the opportunity. Brian Tucker with a nice stop. Paul, I think that tomorrow will be a day to remember in the Southeastern Conference. I think that a lot of teams haven't played in a long time. I think that a lot will shake loose tomorrow after the day is over. As they'll look upfield and try to throw the quick slant pass intended to the wide receiver that time. That's Frank Vaughn, 5'11", 225-pound, actually tight end, looks like that time was in a football game. Falls harmless to the ground. Lucky that pass wasn't picked up. I think you're right. I think tomorrow could be a day in football and conference football in particular. I don't know next year how that will shake out, if all the West teams will return to favor and travel to all the East teams on the same weekend or not, but it should be an interesting scenario.
I would imagine that would be the case, Paul. I would imagine you'll see that around the 5th week of the year next year happen again.
As this pass is going to be blocked. Indeed, as Chandler blocks the kick and the young man recovers, it should be a safety. It looks like it will be. It will be a safety. It looked like that you could tell that was going to be blocked the whole way. It looked like somebody from Houston had a chance to almost get the football, but the punter made a heads-up play and was able to get the football back. There's a flag on the play, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Well, Paul, we knew that was going to happen. They have just not had any time to get rid of the punt at all. The snapper just really not getting any velocity, anything onto the football when he's on his snap, and of course the punter just having no chance.
Oh, he has no chance at all because Patrick, this, like you said, it's like a little duck coming back there to him. It's not coming back very fast. You're right, Patrick. Let's get to some predictions. I think Vandy and Auburn are playing tomorrow. I think we forgot about them. That game is being played on the Plains over on the loveliest city of the Plains over in Auburn. And, you know, Patrick, Auburn's a hot football team right now. As it looks like the Hilltoppers had 12 men on the field and maybe an automatic first down for the Toppers. And those 2 points will come off the scoreboard. And Winona will maintain possession. As the wide receiver will be Harbin wide to the left. He'll give the football to the running back that is, again, Flowers. Patrick and Flowers will pick up about 3, maybe 4 as they'll cross up to the 40, around the, the 30-31 yard line. Back to the football game. So Auburn and Vandy. Auburn's a very, very hot football team right now. They're playing very, very, very well. And Rudy Johnson seems to be just what the doctor ordered over in Auburn. I think Auburn's going to win the football game pretty easily tomorrow. But even though Vandy has that junkyard defense with Jamie Winborn, they could cause them some trouble.
Well, Paul, you're exactly right. But, you know, Auburn really escaped last week against Northern Illinois. They really struggled. And they did 2 late runs to really put that one away. I think if they have another performance like last week, Vandy has an opportunity to really give them a lot of problems.
As they'll throw the little screen pass out here to Flowers. Very well set up, Patrick, as Flowers will make Tucker miss and will get up out of bounds around the 43-yard line. You've already alluded to this Flowers kid. Young man seems to have some ability.
Has some ability, made a play happen right there in the open field. If given the opportunity, Paul, I'm convinced this young man can make a big play for his club.
Good-looking athlete as he'll pick up first down yardage, and maybe, if I'm not mistaken, that may be their first pass completion of the game. I can't remember another. I think Auburn win the football game tomorrow, Patrick. I think you're right. It could be a good football game between Auburn and Vandy, but I think I'll take the Tigers.
Well, Paul, Vandy has everyone back intact. That was what I heard. For the first time this week, they feel like they have everyone back in order. So I really think Vandy will battle them, but I think Auburn wins at home.
I believe you're right. I hope the Commodores beat them up a little bit, Patrick, maybe kind of weaken them down, because the Bulldogs play them next week. Flowers will go off right tackle. Will find very minimal pickup as he'll maybe pick up a yard on the play. Well, real quickly, Patrick, we'll journey over to Tuscaloosa, stay in the state of Alabama. South Carolina, Patrick, believe it or not, I will admit I drove over there last week. That is a long drive to Columbia, South Carolina, to watch the Bulldogs play. They travel to Tuscaloosa tomorrow. They play Alabama. I really believe this is a setup game, Patrick. I believe Alabama's going to beat South Carolina tomorrow.
Well, I do too, Paul. I think Alabama wakes up. Alabama actually played very well last week. Again, a big hole for Flowers.
Flowers off to the races, Patrick, as he'll cross the 40 to the 30 and knock down around the 27-yard line. This young man is quite an athlete, good-looking football player, as he will pick up their biggest play of the football game as he'll, I guess Patrick gets up about 30 yards on the play. Nice pickup around the 26-yard line. And he's finally taken off his speed around the 26 or 28-yard line maybe, but I think it's Brand that may have taken him down. Maybe Holman or Brand one were the 2 young men that were there, if I'm not mistaken.
Impressively, Jerome Lyons, the defensive lineman, was down the field, made the tackle, showed good closing speed for the big guy. Got a little bit of an angle, but the defensive lineman made the tackle downfield.
Good job that time by Lyons, Patrick, as you said, getting depth and getting up the field and making the play. We'll get back to the action, Patrick. It looks like coming into the football game is Alexander, who'll be the fullback. Looks like Flowers will dot the aisle. We'll give the football on the die play, Patrick. I don't have that young man. Yes, that's Aaron Ward actually in the game. Patrick, 5'9", 215-pound senior with the the first series on the belly series of the option, Patrick does a good job of cracking down inside the 20 to around the 18-yard line. Pick up about 8 on the play. Well, Paul, this is the nicest possession that the Tigers have had thus far in this football game. Have taken it down the field and have looked pretty crisp offensively during this drive. Put a few first downs together, knocking on the door. Alexander back in the game now at the fullback position. Flowers will dot the I as he will give the football to Flowers. Flowers trying to get outside, cannot do so, and will be knocked down around the 19-yard line. Good lateral pursuit that time by the Houston Hilltopper defensive ends and linebackers. Paul, we've called Brian Tucker's name out a lot defensively from that linebacker spot. He's played pretty well. He came across the line of scrimmage and just drug the line of scrimmage, made the play from that linebacker position. Third down, 2 yards to go. 1 minute, 58 seconds is all that remains here in the third quarter of play. As Winona trying to put their first points on the scoreboard. Real quickly, Patrick, a game that intrigues me somewhat tomorrow. Georgia and Arkansas. Cedric Cobb's out for the year in Arkansas. Big blow for the backs, but still, the Hogs, and the Razorbacks have a tough challenge with Georgia visiting as Flowers will get the football, go outside. Flowers will cut it up inside and will be knocked down around the 10. Patrick will have a first down. Register first down yardage as he'll crack down around the 10-yard. Actually, Paul, down around the 6, first down and goal to go from the 6. Paul, I agree. I think this is a setup game you're absolutely right, down around the 10, around the 10-yard line. But anyway, I agree. I think it's a setup game even for Arkansas. Georgia, Paul, has had a week off the week before, and then they played another week off against New Mexico State. I think Georgia wins tomorrow and ends that home game winning streak that Arkansas has enjoyed for 18 straight games. Winona can pick up a first down without scoring, Patrick, as they'll give the football off to Alexander on the dive play. As they'll get down around the 6-yard line. Patrick, looks like they can pick up the first down just inside the 1. I don't know if that'll have any bearing on the drive or not, but still they can pick up the first down. Good point, Patrick. Arkansas lost some good players, Patrick, over the weekend. I think they lost Cobbs. I think they had some other injuries as well. But I really and truly believe, Patrick, that there's a mystique maybe about the Houston Nutt and his staff. They're hard to beat in Fayetteville. Georgia going into a hornet's nest, but we'll have to wait and see what happens in that game. I'm going to take Arkansas. I'm going to think the Hogs are going to find a way to win. Beckwith will call signals from the 6, give the football off to Flowers, and Flowers will crack down to about the 2-yard line. And that, for all intents and purposes, may bring to an end the third quarter of play. We'll just have to wait and see if the coaching staff, Coach McRae from Winona, will to try to get the play off. Patrick, it's going to be really close. I don't think they're going to get the play off. I think they're probably just content to let the clock tick down. That should, for all intents and purposes, bring to an end the third quarter of play. We've played 3. The score of the Toppers 34, Houston 34, Patrick, Winona nothing. We'll be back after these messages from our local sponsor.
That's the end of the third quarter of play here in Houston.
Third down and 1 to go, Patrick, from the 1-yard line as Beckwith will call signals. Give the ball to Flowers. Flowers will go up over the top and will find the end zone, Patrick, for the touchdown for the Winona Tigers. You have to give that young man a lot of credit, Patrick. He ran hard on that series for the Winona Tigers. Well, he's a pretty good-looking back, Paul, and a good possession for Winona. Winona gets on the scoreboard. First play of the fourth quarter play. Nice drive, culminated on a 1-yard run by Flowers, and they get on the scoreboard with 11:55 remaining here in the third quarter play. Again, Patrick, we have to give kudos that time for the young man Flowers. Did a good job of running the football. We have a score, Patrick. Vardaman leading Calhoun City 41-0. 47-0, excuse me. 47-0 as the extra point. Actually, the game is over, we understand. The extra point is long enough, high enough, and Mr. Bishop Reed, the fine kicker from Winona, has connected. With 11 minutes, 56 seconds to go here in the football game, has made the score 34-7. The Toppers on top. Very quickly, back to our games, Pat. We'll just kind of cover it. The ones we have real quickly before we do that. Let's do our top 20 in the state of Mississippi. We have a couple of minutes. We haven't done that tonight as well. That's something that we always try to do before each and every football game. I think we have it here somewhere, Pat. Here it is right here. Real quickly, top 20 in the state of Mississippi. Moss Point, number 1, Clinton. Patrick, all those fine backs, good offensive players that Clinton has. They're number 2. Of course, DeMarios Bilbo, the quarterback from Moss Point, number 1. Brandon Patrick my understanding, one of the finest running backs, Patrick, a junior. Norwood is a young man's name. Is one of the Jarius Norwood, great football players. Number 3, Brandon, number 3. Clarksdale 4, Madison Central had a loss last week. They're number 5. Columbus, Patrick, the Falcons from Columbus have a very good football team. They're number 6. Starkville 7, Warren Central 8, Shannon 9, Louisville is number 10, Laurel number 11, Meridian 12. Pontotoc, Patrick checks in at 13. Hancock is 14, Petal 15. We'll get back to it in just a few minutes as the kick will sail out of bounds, and the Toppers will have the option. I guess I get the football on about the 40-yard line. I think in high school football is the way it actually works. Pontotoc, Patrick, off to a great start, 5-0. They're number 13. Been playing very well in Class 3A. Hancock, number 14, Petal 15. Chris McNeil and group, great offensive lineman. They're doing really well, having an awfully good season. McComb 16. Cleveland, I think they're playing Amory tonight, is number 17. Patrick, the Corinth Warriors are number 18. They're playing awfully well. Collins is 19, and then also in the area, Ripley, the Ripley Tigers are number 20. Houston did receive votes, and also Water Valley in the top 20 poll, as it looks like that they will re-kick the football. An interesting ball game tonight is Tupelo and Starkville. Tupelo not playing well at all, still winless, and playing at Starkville. And Paul, I think their woes will continue. I'm sure they will. AP Little 10, we'll get to that just real quickly. Ackerman is number 1, Philadelphia 2, Durant number 3, Taylorsville number 4, Vardaman, the Rounds, Patrick up 47-0 over Calhoun City is number 5, Ruleville Central, the fine running back Noah Ingram is number 6, Noxapater 7, Boonville 8, Lee Academy is number 9, Pillow Academy is number 10. Baldwin also received votes, Patrick, as the ball will be kicked off. Looks like it's Harrell, if I'm not mistaken, who will gather it in. And Patrick Harrell has some running room as he's up to the 40. He's up to the 45, the 50, 45, and will break a tackle. Patrick, what a great individual effort, and will find the end zone for the touchdown. What a super run that time by Harrell, Patrick.
Oh, that was one of the finest kickoff returns I have ever saw. He did all of that on his own. No pun to any of his protection or his blockers, Paul, but he really just did it all on his own. He took it to the corner, and he beat everyone to the corner. And then when he got to the sideline, he only had one man to beat around the 30-yard line. He broke the tackle, able to stay on his feet, and Paul and plunged in the final 30 yards. A tremendous return by Harrell. Super job. He may have had someone that may have had picked off a defender or helped him pick off a defender, Patrick, when he was close to being brought down right here around the midfield stripe. Couldn't tell exactly, but still, nonetheless, what a great return by Harold, Patrick. And the Toppers will go up 40-7. Extra point by Horn is up. It's long enough, it's high enough, and it's good. With 11 minutes, 42 seconds left to go here in the football game, the Toppers lead by a score of 40-7. We'll take these messages, and we'll be back after this short break from our local sponsors. Hilltoppers with a very convincing 41-7 lead, Patrick, on homecoming night here in Houston, Mississippi. As Horn will kick the football off, Patrick. They're going to try to get the football. The ball is fumbled, and the Hilltoppers have a chance and run right by it, Patrick. As they tried to give the ball. That's the second time they've ran that play on the kickoff, trying to get the ball to Flowers, it looked like, and again, they fumble it. Well, Michael Griffin had a real shot at the football, Paul, but he came in with a lot of intensity there trying to get to the carrier, and Paul just overran the ball. And fortunately for Winona, they retained possession. Well, let's get to some more of these games. Tennessee tomorrow will make a trek to Baton Rouge and play LSU. An interesting ball game. Tennessee just really played well last week against another Louisiana school. But, Paul, they go to Baton Rouge. I don't think it'll be as easy tomorrow as it was against Louisiana Monroe, but it'll be an interesting game. Well, LSU's coming off one of their worst losses in a long time. They lost to University of Alabama, Birmingham, UAB, at home on last Saturday night in Tiger Stadium, Death Valley Tiger Stadium, and probably one of the more embarrassing losses they've had in a long time. And, you know, I think there's one thing that Nick Saban didn't think of when he came to SEC country, when he came from Big Ten country, where they played really good football as well. If you lose here in the South, Patrick, you can become an enemy of the fans in a heartbeat. And I understand that they've been taking some flack down in on the Bayou country this week. For some reason or another, Patrick, I just got a feeling that LSU is going to play better tomorrow. I didn't say they were going to win the football game, but I got a feeling they're going to play better tomorrow. They're going to have a little bit of a spark about them, I'm sure, because, you know, Patrick, a couple years ago, I'm reminded by Michigan State. Michigan State lost a football game a couple years ago to Toledo.
I don't know if you remember that. And the next week, Patrick, Ohio State was the #1 ranked team in the country, and they defeated Ohio State in Columbus in the Horseshoe, and then Columbus, Ohio, and knocked them out of an opportunity of winning a national championship. I don't know if you remember that. And Michigan State wasn't really a good football team. Saban's a good football coach. He'll have LSU ready tomorrow night. Well, Paul, LSU is one of the hardest teams to figure out in the conference. You know there's talent there, but they just really have not been able to put it together the last couple of years, of course, under DiNardo, and now, of course, they got a new coaching staff. Got to give them a little bit of time, but you're right. I expect LSU to play with a lot of tenacity tomorrow, and I think they'll really get after Tennessee. As Flowers will find running room as he'll cross the 15 up to around the 16-yard line. 16-yard line. Patrick making the tackle that time. Looked like the tackle was made that time, Patrick, by Jerome Lyons. Along also looked like may have been Josh Moore, also the young man that may have been in on the play as well. As Houston looks like they've had a lot of young people that have came into the football game as well right now. So Coach Funk getting some young people some playing time, as well as having some of his regulars still in. It looks like R.J. Patterson is checked in the football game, playing one of the cornerback positions. As Beckwith will give the football to Flowers again. Flowers will cross up around the, close to the 20-yard line as he'll be knocked down at that point. LSU, Tennessee pass. Still have to play Tennessee. A little bit of my heart, a little bit of it wants to say, or maybe not necessarily my heart, but I'm going to pick here with what I really believe will happen. I think Tennessee will win the game. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if LSU doesn't play them pretty well. Well, a discrepancy, the better part of valor here, Paul. I agree with you. I'm tempted to say that I think LSU could spring the upset. But I just don't know. LSU could spring the upset. I just think Tennessee has too many weapons, and I think that they'll have a hard time, stopping that fine running back, and Travis that they have, Travis Henry. I really believe Tennessee wins the football game. Clip right there, whether the official calls it or not, who knows. I think he's waiting to throw the flag, but nobody ever threw the flag. I don't know the coaching staff from Houston. I think they're wanting it. It was pretty blatant, wasn't it, Pat? Oh, absolutely. And there's a couple of the coaches just in disbelief. As I'm not sure which coach it is. I'm sure it's the defensive coordinator, Paul, but very, very unhappy because that was blatantly obvious right there. Well, Bishop Reed was the young man that was guilty of the infraction. I mean, he just cracked somebody from behind pretty good. It was a pretty obvious clip. I guess this late in the ball game with no calls, okay. He got away with it, Paul. That doesn't happen very often, but he really got away with the one right there. First down, 10 yards to go from the 24-yard line. Beckwith will call signals from that point. I believe Flowers will still be in the football game as a tailback. He'll dot the I. We'll get the football on the counter play, and Flowers will cross up to about the 27-yard line. As making the tackle on the play for the Toppers is Lamar Gladney. Gladney in the football game made the tackle. Looks like a host of other young men getting their first action as well. Also in the football game right now, Patrick, looks like is Chris Walker. Chris Walker getting some action. A freshman defensive lineman. A lot of young people, Patrick, are getting some playing time. That's one thing that you talked about starting the third quarter, that are starting after the halftime intermission. I'm sure Coach Funt would like to get some new players. Well, he's got some new faces in there, Paul, getting an opportunity to play, and I know these young men are excited to get that opportunity. As Flowers will get the football and will be knocked to the earth. Good job that time by Lance Buchanan. Buchanan did a good job, Patrick, of reading the option and doing a good job of taking the pitch man out. And good play on the football that time by Buchanan. Paul Buchanan has played awfully well tonight. He's played pretty well at that defensive end position. Has made a number of tackles on that option play. Did a good job again of reading the option, Paul, and doing a good job of spilling the back. Third down, 10 yards to go from the 25-yard line. Winona with the football on their end of the field as the center, Reed Biggers, will be over the football at that point. Calling out signals will be the quarterback, Beckwith, and we'll have his Alexander, who will be the fullback, fumbles the football, and I think very alertly will pounce back on it somewhere around the 23-yard line. Back to the football games tomorrow at hand. Before we get Ole Miss and State's football games, I think we're missing one conference game. Alabama, we got Auburn, we got Arkansas, we got LSU. I think we got all of them except for Ole Miss and State. So right now I think we pretty well believe Auburn will win their football game. I think we think Alabama will end South Carolina streak tomorrow. I think we also believe that Tennessee will win against LSU and Auburn Vandy. I think Auburn will win. We're missing one football game. I think it would be we got all of them, didn't we? The only football games we didn't get were Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Patrick, we'll start with the Rebels tomorrow in Oxford as they'll play against the Kentucky Wildcats.
Well, it's a big game, Paul. The Rebels have now won one of their last 5 conference games at home. They're 1-4 in their last 5 games that they've played in Oxford, Paul. And, Paul, quite frankly, a lot of disgruntled fans unhappy with their performance at home. Ready to see the Rebels perform quite a little bit better at home. And I tell you what, it's a big game. The Rebels win this one, Paul. I don't know if you realize the schedule really set up pretty good for Ole Miss. If they can win tomorrow, they have an opportunity to be a real factor in the West. But they got to win tomorrow. I think they will. I think it'll be I don't think it will be near as high scoring as the people were prognosticating. I think that it'll be something in the neighborhood of 28-21, 28-24. I don't see it being one of those 41-38 type situations I've heard a lot of people talking about. I think Ole Miss wins, but I think it'll be a close one, and I think they'll win it in Oxford tomorrow.
Brand will make the fair catch in Houston territory right on the 47. I think and that's where the Toppers will take over 1st and 10. I think the Rebels win the football game tomorrow afternoon. They play tomorrow night, actually, if I'm not mistaken. I think they kick off at 6:30, something like that. Should be a good football game. Will be an entertaining affair. And like you said, the Rebels do have their schedule set up well for them if they can find a win tomorrow night. But they haven't been playing well at home. Pat, you talked about that. They're winning football games on the road. They've been doing it for the last couple of years. But at home at Vaught-Hemingway, they've been struggling somewhat. So tomorrow is a big football game for them.
Obviously, the key, Paul, is going to be the Rebel defense. Can they step up to the challenge? I don't think you can stop Kentucky, but can they slow them down a little bit? Can they make them, Paul, go the distance on the field, maybe create a few turnovers? That's going to be the key, Paul. Hopefully they can, instead of letting them score touchdowns, they're going to drive the field. Maybe they can hold them to field goals when they get them in the red zone, and then, of course, force a few turnovers to keep them out of the end zone. Because you get in a track meet with Kentucky, you're in trouble.
Gann will bring the play in the line of scrimmage. Houston has a lot of young folks in. Patrick, James Sims, a sophomore quarterback, is in the football game right now. Tony Neal, Patrick, a freshman. Both those young men are freshmen. Was the man on the carry and a couple minutes ago as, again, Patrick will be stacked up in the backfield. It looks like that on the carry for the Toppers was not able to tell who the young man was, Patrick, that got the football. If I'm not mistaken, it may have been Michael Fitzpatrick, another freshman. They're playing a lot of young people. And that's good, Patrick, because they're getting a lot of action right now. So you're going to see a lot of young folks get some action. Checking in the football game now for the Toppers. We don't even have this young man's number. I may ask the guy here if he knows who number 18 is for Houston, who just checked into the football game. As coming up to the line of scrimmage will be James Sims. Sims will call out signals and will ask for it and will receive a timeout. We have a new center in the football game, it looks like. That is Bradley Allen. Bradley Allen. We'll try to get all these young men, Patrick. We want to call their names out if we can. Randy Moore in the football game playing early tonight or getting an opportunity to play. Looks like Trey Stanfield, another freshman. Looks like we have almost all freshman football players in right now, Patrick. Good opportunity for all these young men to get some quality playing time against high school action.
Well, Paul, these guys will be the players of tomorrow for Houston, and it's a pretty young Houston football team overall. Anyway, a lot of these guys that are making plays and producing will be guys that will be back anyway, even next year. But Houston really played well here tonight. Paul had a few mistakes, stymied a few drives in the first half. Paul, they really shot themselves in the foot with a turnover, maybe a few penalties. But overall, Paul, they moved the football pretty much at will, controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and have a convincing 41-7 lead right now, midway through the fourth quarter play.
Jeremy Boyles is in the football game, getting some action. Patrick, let me see if we can get all these young men's name called. Chris Walker, I think we've called his name already, is in the football game. Also the center, I think Bradley Allen, we got his name. Jason Walker, tight end, is in the football game. He's a junior. As Sims will call signals, we'll roll back in the pocket. We'll look up the field. We'll throw the football. Patrick has his receiver down there, and the pass will be broken up. As making the breakup on the play was the Corby Harbin, and Harbin knocks the football down around the 38-yard line, Patrick. Real quickly, I'll take Ole Miss tomorrow in their football game, and what should be a heck of a battle tomorrow in Oxford, Mississippi. Hope the Rebels can get on the winning track, get things going. They have an open date, should be well prepared for the football game.
Paul, they should be prepared. Now we go to the game tomorrow and start. Well, I think the most intriguing matchup of the weekend, other than maybe the Arkansas-Georgia game, this game tomorrow is very intriguing. You got a high potent offensive attack, Paul, and a good Florida offensive unit against the Mississippi State defense. It's very, very good. Something's got to give. I mean, you know, somebody's got to give. I really just don't know which way to go with this one. Honestly, I don't even know. In my personal opinion, I would not really call it a real big upset if State won the game. I know that across the country, if it happens, you're going to hear, you know, Mississippi State shocks the world. I think State has a real good opportunity to win. Of course, the big thing for Mississippi State is they got to take advantage of every opportunity they have to score tomorrow, because if they get into a track meet again, of course, they're in trouble. First thing, I don't think Florida's going to be able to move the football up and down the field against Mississippi State. I think that the Bulldogs will slow them up quite a bit. Ought to be an intriguing matchup, and of course the Bulldogs, I think have an opportunity to win this football game, but they're going to have to force a few turnovers and create some opportunities for their offense, Paul. 43-yard punt. After the 43-yard punt, Winona will take over. First down 10, actually, after the incompletion. Now will be second down and 10. 5 minutes. There's triple nickels all across the scoreboard. Patrick, 5:55 left to go in the football game. As there's a time on, we're just going to hold it here. As Houston has a lot of young players in the football game. We're going to try to get all their names. R.J. Patterson is in the football game. Of course, we've always talked about the ninth grade players are getting action. My understanding, Patrick, is that the people here in Houston, we hadn't had a lot of people or a lot of opportunities to talk to a lot of folks. But my understanding, they're really excited about their junior high players. Apparently, they have some 8th graders that are really excited about 7th graders as well. Particularly, I've heard that they're really excited about their 8th grade group. Think that they may be a very special group. You couple that with these 9th graders who are getting an opportunity to play tonight. You see there's a great future, not only as Coach Funk, we talk about this every week that we do their games. We remember when he took over back in the, I guess, mid-90s or 95, 96, or whatever it was. We did the first game. Of course, we were calling it for Pontotoc. And we watched them play Houston, and they got beat. I think Shalando Jones, Alan Copeland, they were seniors for Pontotoc that year. They lost the football game 42-6 or whatever it was. It doesn't matter what the score was. Talked to him before the game was started. He said, we're going to build this thing the right way. And there's no question, Patrick, Coach Funk has built this program the right way. Really one of the truly fine young coaches in Northeast Mississippi. And one of the up-and-coming programs in this area, Paul, will be a player in Class 3A for a long time to come. Indeed will, as the quarterback, Beckwith, will roll to his left, throw the football off the field. The pass will be incomplete. Try to get the rest of these young men in the football game. Josh Moore looks like also in the football game right now. James Sims is playing in the defensive backfield. Also, Patrick, Eric Foster getting his first action of the night. Lamar Gladney played earlier. He's in still. I'm probably going to call a couple of these names out, maybe twice. I want to make sure I get all the young men on if I possibly can. Don't want to leave anybody off if I can possibly do that. Want to get all these young men, all the accolades that we possibly can. They are indeed the future of Houston High School football. As the Winona Tigers will bring the football up to the line of scrimmage. Third down, 10 yards to go, possession play from their own 15-yard line. Beckwith will roll to his right. Will probably throw the football out here in the flat and will to the receiver, Flowers. And Flowers will be knocked down around the 19-yard line as making the tackle for the Toppers. Coming up from the outside backer position, maybe defensive lineman position, was Jason Walker. Jason Walker making the play, the junior defensive lineman, tracking down Flowers and dropping him for about a 5-yard gain. Looks like Winona will indeed probably punt the football here. Paul, indeed, and Paul, we're just going to have to go ahead and give our players of the game, and looks like we're going to not do any post game on the field. But I tell you what, we'll have to decide on who the young men are that we'll have to give that award to here in a few moments. Houston will jump off sides. I think, Patrick, the man that comes to me, let's just talk about the 5 guys we had talked about where we're going to interview. Maybe don't get to do it tonight, but maybe we'll get to do it next Friday night. We were really impressed. We don't get to talk a lot to offensive linemen, particularly all the offensive linemen played well, but Eddie White was a young man. Eddie, if we don't get you tonight, we're going to try to get you next Friday night. Super job by Eddie White, really played well. The center, Weaver, played well. All the interior linemen on the offensive forward wall played well. The fullback, Robinson, tremendous tonight. Harold played well.
these are all the young men that we have to pick from, Pat. I'm sure you have a couple people though in mind yourself.
Well, Paul, I thought the linebackers and the defensive ends, I thought Lance Buchanan played well on the defensive front for Houston. Also, Paul, I think Eric Tucker, Tucker played awfully well. Brian Tucker, played awfully well on that from that linebacker spot. So those guys had a heck of a game tonight defensively, controlled the line of scrimmage. And of course, Paul, there's the obvious guys that we've talked to earlier throughout the year. They played well as well, of course. Rod Holman played well. Paul made big plays. Brand made big plays, of course, as well on the returns. But Houston will move their record. Paul will move to 5-1 on the season, and will play next week, open up division play against South Pontotoc. And from here on out, Paul, every game critical.
Well, you're playing for keeps after that. Brian Tucker, Patrick, you're exactly right. That young man is really a heck of a football player. We don't really talk about him as much as we should because he just quietly gets the job done all game long. I mean, we talk about him as they're going for it on fourth down. Beckwith will call signals and we'll give the football to Flowers. Flowers will not make first down yardage as he'll be knocked to the earth. And we'll just see who made the tackle along the DeMario Buford, Patrick, was a young man, it looks like that's in the football game this time. DeMario Buford, young man that receiving his first action of the play. Actually, it was a first down carry on the play. I'm sorry. I thought they were 4th and 7. They were actually 4th and 2. Did pick up first down country, as it will be a first down carry that time by Flowers. But Buford, a young man that's in the football game. I'm trying to see if I'm leaving anybody out. If I do, it's not intentionally. But Tucker, Patrick, he dropped back in coverage. I remember the play we talked about a couple minutes ago, getting depth from his linebacker position and knocking a play away or disrupting the play in the secondary. And young man that just does a job week in, week out. As Winona will carry the football up over the 30, maybe to the 31-yard line, running hard that time was we don't have actually his name. Even the PA announcer is not able to announce his name. But let's just real quickly, Patrick, let's just give try players of the game instead of players of the game. Let's just give it to Robinson, Harrell, and also to Tucker. All three of those young men played very, very well. Congratulations to all three. They'll be our co-players of the game as well, tri-players of the game. Those three young men, very deserving of the award. Several people that could have been named the players of the game, but Tucker, young man, played well along with Robinson, also Harrell. As the running back for Winona will crack up to around the 30-yard line, making the tackle. Alexander is getting up around the 40-yard line, and Lyons makes the tackle of the football.
Again, Paul Jerome Lyons has played awfully well from that defensive tackle position as well tonight. I'd like to bring his name to mention as well. Played an awfully good game tonight. And like you said, Paul, very importantly for Houston, want to keep getting better, want to keep improving week to week. Paul, the preseason's over. It's all for keeps from now on out. 5-1, good preseason mark, even though they do count in the regular season schedule, Paul. From now on out, here on in, every game counts. That's that much the more because they're division games. And Paul, one slip up and you're in trouble, So you've got to win every game you possibly can. Put yourself in position to make the playoffs. So you're playing in November in the first round of the playoffs. Unfortunately, Houston, Paul, was the odd team out last year. Don't want to taste that again this time.
Well, you know what they say, Patrick. They'll always remember what you do in November. And that's what exactly the Toppers are wanting to do. They want to get themselves in a position. This year, they don't want to be on the outside looking in. They lost out on a technicality last year. Oh, nice block here by the young man from Winona. This time he didn't clip. The same young man that clipped, obviously, a couple minutes ago. He had actually a pretty good block this time as he sprung Flowers into the secondary. But they always say they remember you for what you do in November. And you know that what they want to do if you're the Toppers is they want to have an opportunity to be a player and to be around Patrick in November and be in state playoff play and be a factor. Because I think, Patrick, we've seen all the 3A schools play except for Corinth and probably Ripley. We'll probably see them in the next couple of weeks. We'll have an opportunity to do games that will involve those schools. And I think Houston can play with anybody. There is no question in my mind they are really a good Class 3A football team. The reason why I think Houston is such a good football team, Patrick, the coaches know more about it than we do. Solid defensive play this time by the Topper defense. I think it's because the Topper defensive football team, the Toppers offensively, Patrick, they're not very big, but, man, they can really run.
Well, I think that's the key to Houston's attack, Paul. We've saw several of these teams play already. Houston may have some of the best team speed that we have saw.
Some of the other teams, I think, of course, we witnessed Pontotoc, very physical football team, very strong up on the forward walls and big physical team. Houston played them, Paul, in a scrimmage game and really handled them pretty easily in the spring. Pontotoc has really improved, but I tell you what, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this Houston team down the stretch.
Well, they have big games, Patrick, of course, starting with South Pontotoc next week, as Alexander will get the ball in the dive play and a good open field tackle, Patrick. Nice job that time by Trey Stanfield. The freshman defensive back made a nice open field tackle.
Well of a play by Stanfield, Paul. Is it looked like it was going to work for big yardage for Alexander, and he cut his feet right out from under him. Big play right there by Stanfield, the youngster, getting in the game and making the most of his opportunity.
Good job by Stanfield. But what we were talking about, Houston has a super opportunity to be a factor in the race, Patrick. I really believe, in my personal opinion, I might make some people mad out here in Houston when I say this, because you don't want to jinx anybody. I believe Houston's a better football team than Amory. That's really my opinion. Of course, we don't know until they play each other. Of course, they beat them last year. To me, the Shannon game will be huge. But of course, they're all huge when like you said, when you start a conference game, Patrick. Conference play next week. But I think Houston has an opportunity to be a factor in the division, and has an opportunity not only to win the division, Patrick, but at least have an opportunity to qualify for the playoffs.
Well, Paul, you're right, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. We see the Winona band across the way, making their way and trek to the exits, and in a very unorthodox manner, which you usually don't see from a band, instead of just marching off. But this will be the last play of this football game. You'd have to think they'll snap it one time, and we'll go to a knee.
I think they're going to get the coach, Patrick, with the Gatorade thing. It looks like that Caleb Chandler and some others, they're fixing to get a suit here. Coach Funk is fixing to get wet, and it's going to be a suit that's good. We'll see how.
Call a timeout with 9.3 seconds left to go in the ball game.
Well, they call a timeout. What is that? This is more fun, Patrick, than a timeout, though. We'll have to see what they do here. I tell you what, if they get him wet with that sport coat on, he might not be real happy. I tell you what, I wouldn't want Coach Funk mad at me. I don't know.
Well, indeed, Paul, they're going to give him a bath, and the homecoming 2000 is going to be a successful one for the Hilltoppers, as they're going to move their record to 5-1 on the season, Paul. And like we said, division play in front of them next week. But he has to be happy, Paul. You win 5 out of 6 of these non-divisional games. A good start, Paul. And, of course, quite honestly, they won every game they were supposed to. Played a good Grenada football team a few weeks ago back. We were here to witness that football game, and we knew that Grenada was a good team when they played them. Very physical football team, and battled them for a good 3 quarters of that game. But, Paul, I tell you, Grenada prevailed. But those kind of games are what make you better when you get into division play. Paul, let's go over these sponsors one more good time here. We'd like to thank Union Planters Bank, Griffin Motor Company, Pollen Wholesale Furniture, Classic Exteriors Vinyl Siding, King's Tire, Custom Auto Accessories, A&A Electrical Supply, Home Discount Lumber and Supply, Quick Cash, Dixieland Manufacturing Company, Chickasaw Equipment Company, actually Dixieland Manufacturing Company now taking applications, Bargain Warehouse, Grocer's Pride, Springer Homes, Hunter's Hollow in Oxford, Grisani Rebel Motors in Oxford as well.
Caleb Chandler, looks like Holman, looks like I can't tell who all's involved. They're trying to get anybody wet that they can. As the Winona running back is loose in the secondary, Pat, and does a good job, as that should be, for all intents and purposes, the final play of the football game. And Houston's homecoming will be a victorious one, as they'll win by a score. Houston's final score of 41-7. We got 1 minute of tape. Is that what he said, Patrick? We're going to have to get this thing over. We've never had this happen before in this way. Sorry to the young men we weren't able to get on the air that we were going to do the interviews with. Maybe next week we can get you. We'll be right back here. Me and Patrick should be here next week against South Pontotoc. I think that's the trip we're going to be. I think we're going to be here in Houston.
Paul, we'll be right back here next week when South Pontotoc comes to play Houston. First division game, first test of the football season during division play for the Hilltoppers. Should be a good one. Again, Houston 41, Winona 7 as they win their homecoming 2000. Big night for the Hilltoppers.
Congratulations to the 2 young ladies that won the homecoming queens. Congratulations to the football team and also all the other young ladies that were in the homecoming court. Congratulations on their win tonight. And many kudos. Hope all those young folks are very safe as they're over the road. I'm sure some of them will be out tonight. We'll see you next week
here from Houston High School for South Pontotoc and Houston High School football action.